Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the show today. We're going to be doing our draw along as usual for our Drawn and Quartered here Ultimate Edition. But today we got ourselves a special guest because we are promoting an Indiegogo today for Mike Barron, and we have the producer editor, I'm assuming, here with Chris, and we're going to talk to him for a while about that and some other things. Happy to have you here. And yes, when I say radio silence, ready to go into my intro. That's when Rabbit picks up his guitar. Yeah, it's as it should be, I guess. But nevertheless, welcome everybody. First things first, of course, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to hit the like button and the share button, which is really what we want you to do. That's the most important thing, so we can get more people in here enjoying what we're doing. We are doing a full show today, so we will have a straw poll at the end.
Be back. I'll have to be back. Sorry, my internet's being a dick.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much, Rabbit. And we will send that the winner over to the Pro Edition on Mike's show next week, of course. So we'll keep in mind that's 2 hours we got here coming up shortly, and we will hopefully you guys will do a draw along as well as after we show you what's going on. But definitely go over here and hit that, and there we go. All righty. So we got artists starting to show up now. We got my co-host is in here. Hello, Jeff.
Why, hello, Chester.
How are you?
I'm swell. And yourself?
I am also swell. As I'm glad to hear another old fella that uses proper words. Thank you.
Let's be swell together.
We shall be. We shall be. So you ready for this today, Jeff? We got ourselves a pretty cool looking comic, actually.
Yes, I'm ready. I'm so ready.
That's awesome. All right.
I'm like so ready. I'm like shaking. That's how ready I am.
That's good. I told you to practice for being the co-host, so I hope you've done your due diligence, sir.
No, I didn't.
Oh, damn it.
I'll just freaking wing it like I do everything else in life.
Fair enough. All right, well, let's take a couple minutes here, and I'm going to hold off on showing the Indiegogo here, but I do want to say hello to our guest. Hello, guest. How you doing? Please.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, happy to have you. Please introduce yourself again to the folks.
Chris Brawley. I am the cat herder for Thin Blue Line. I also am the editor-in-chief of Bleeding Fool. Not Bleeding Cool. Bleeding Fool, the right side of geek culture, I guess.
Sure.
And Mike Barron and I are good friends, and he asked if I would help him run this campaign and be the editor on yet another project. This is not our first project together.
No, Mike is being pretty prolific recently. He's put out a bunch of stuff. We had Florida Man. He had those novels he was telling us about he's working on, and of course now Thin Blue Line. It's interesting to see because Mike has certainly taken a different direction from his earlier life, which is much more superhero based. He's getting into more kind of real life stuff, which is neat. And Mike's such a great writer anyway.
He really is. And what's neat about this particular project is, some people don't know, but he specifically, when Marvel asked him, when they tapped him to do the Punisher, he wasn't going to use superheroes or robots or aliens or anything. And he kept it that way for the first 3 years until a new editor came on board and asked for, some more superheroes. But this is sort of back in Mike's wheelhouse. It's a fun revisit of street crime, gritty stuff.
Yeah, I read the. I'm going to show the Indiegogo here as soon as I get these guys going here in a couple minutes. But tell me if I'm wrong. But for me, reading the page, I got the premise that this was Assault on Precinct 13.
That's the way it feels. Yeah, the classic Carpenter version.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh, that's cool.
It's gritty. It's rough. I mean, it's not for kids. It's a PG-13 book. It's got some serious violence. It doesn't quite rise to the level of Crossed. It's not necessarily one of those kind of books.
That one's a bit rough. It's true.
Yeah. This gets rough too, and it's got, of course, salty language, salty situations. But at the end of the day, it's very entertaining. It's not preachy at all, which I think Mike is utterly opposed to lecturing readers. His first job, as Mike will tell you, is to entertain. And
Well, that's true. And besides, even if you want to have politics in your stuff, which is fine, you don't tell people, you show them. It's rule 101 of writing, right? But we'll get into a lot of these conversations, I'm sure. And the good thing is, Chris, is that this is a PG-13 plus show, so we're all good.
Oh, great.
Yeah, this is definitely not
shit.
for kids.
Great.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Right, good.
And therefore, we're going to go ahead and get the artist started. Keep in mind, guys, we've got 2 hours for these guys to draw. They can do whatever they want. There's no restrictions. Color's fine. Of course, as we said, it's PG-13, so they can take some liberties if they'd like. And co-host Jeff, are you ready for your premiere, sir?
I thought I premiered last time.
No,
Yeah, I mean,
that
he
was
pretty
that
much
was
did.
an interview. Yeah, that was definitely.
If
Yeah.
it was it.
How do I get
Oh,
rid of this?
okay.
All right. So what you need
I
to
take
do?
it. I take it. I passed.
You did.
Mm.
Yeah, well, I didn't kick you
Barely.
off the server, so you're here. So what you're gonna have to do, Jeff, is you have to kick
Give
them
me
off,
time.
and you have to. Oh, I'm sure. You got to kick them off, and you have to be very enthusiastic about your countdown. I mean, it has to be exciting. This show needs to be exciting, Jeff. So they're ready. They're ready. It's 10 minutes past. They got to get started. Go ahead.
You guys ready?
My internet.
Yes!
That's what I am.
Okay. On the count of, I go 3, 2, 1, then 0. You go. Okay.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Anticipation.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, 0. Go.
God, that sucked, Jeff.
Get off me, man.
Jeff, man, what are you doing, man? It was supposed to be in
Hey,
3 minutes.
Rosa.
There's no noise. There's no. I didn't hear any.
Look at.
It was none of it.
I can't yell. Wife's sleeping. Glad the
Didn't
dog's
watch it.
sleeping.
I see. Because it's gonna
Jester,
be
we have a new
like
artist?
3, 2, 1, go, go, go. You got to be like that. Yeah, you got to.
Oh my God! Go!
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
Okay.
You got to work on your voices. I gave you some homework last week. Did you work on your female German dominatrix yet?
Dude, I got through
I
all
mean-
high school without doing homework. Which I didn't do so
Yeah,
well, but
Okay. We got a lot of our artists showed up, which is here, and we got a couple of new ones. Spencer's not new, but he forgets every time. Spencer, you have to share your screen, buddy.
Yeah, I haven't started yet.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no, it's fine.
We got
Don't
Rose
worry
in
about
here.
it.
Hello, Rose. How are you doing?
Good evening. How are y'all doing?
We are doing well, and you got a little bit of that Southern Belle going on, which is appreciated. Absolutely.
Beautiful.
I got.
Go ahead.
No, that's all I've got. I'm sorry. I
Oh,
just
that's
showed
okay.
up. I'm like, hey, you got a stream going. I better show up.
You should,
For the
and
band.
it's gonna be fun today. We're doing Thin Blue Line, so that's gonna be nice.
Finally,
Um,
another American.
Another, we are outnumbered. That is for damn sure. So Rose, do you know how to share your screen?
No, I don't. That's actually
Okay.
what I was coming on here tonight to find out. I've got terrible bandwidth tonight. And it's
Um,
just, it is not working out for me. I've got some sort of like alien beam coming in or something. The CIA's watching me or something. I have no idea. It just simply will not pull up tonight. I have been trying everything in my power to get this thing to work. And it's just not wanting to go tonight.
Well, have you tried the share screen at the bottom? It's you have the turn on camera, share screen, mute. You can use, if you have a camera, you could just turn your camera on, or you can share your screen. Have you tried it?
No, I actually haven't tried it yet. Probably I should get out of this pile of laundry before I do that.
Oh, fair enough. Oh, you let me know when you're going to start drawing in, and I'll come back and talk to you. So we'll get that going. But we are started here. So Amaran, I know you love police stories. Down in Australia, of course, you have the best police in the world.
Shoo.
Oh yeah, they're very very effective.
Authoritarian,
What
I
they
would
do.
say, yeah. What are you going to do today for Mike's Thin Blue Line here?
I think you can guess something
I
sexy.
can already guess.
Well, I kind of
The
have a
tabloid
feeling it's going to
posted
be a woman
everything.
that has a police uniform that she can barely stay inside of. I would imagine what I'm going to see, something like that.
Yeah, technically,
okay.
yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. At least you're consistent.
Sexy cops.
Sexy cops. I mean, actually, I'm going to show the Indiegogo here in a second after I talk to the artist, and it's not a bad looking cop. How you doing, Eric? Man,
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
I am well. So what's your plan for tonight, sir?
Oh, I'm going to draw probably Val. Isn't that the main character in the book?
Yeah, it seems so. Yeah. Sweet. All right. I'm looking forward to it. You've had some real bangers past month, so I'm looking forward to see what you got today, Eric. Looking forward
Cool,
to it.
thanks.
All right. And Rabbit, we still have a couple of the artists that haven't dropped up their screens and stuff, so I'll just do this and move on. But what's your plan today, Rabbit?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm going to do a chick cop.
A chick cop. It looks like everyone's doing a chick cop. Even Mike. did.
Spontaneous.
I'm not sure, and I'll get there or I won't.
Fair
It's
enough.
incredible Brit.
I'm looking for
it's-
references at the minute. So.
I'm happy to share a couple of recent pinups from the book if that gives anybody any inspiration.
Oh, well,
might help.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
going to.
References,
I'm going
welcome,
to
yeah.
show the Indiegogo page
that's not a
first,
bad
and then we'll
picture.
come over and then take a look at that, Chris. But you're showing it now. Wow, all right. Well, I'll show it now.
Yeah,
I
let's have a look,
I
man.
can't tell what I'm doing. So but this is Sergio Cariello did a nice pinup. That's Val and one of the other cops on the left.
Yeah, it's not loading.
Here is it's not my bad.
It's
right.
probably not your bad, to be fair.
Yeah.
Discord or it's Chester.
Yeah, Discord's kind of crappy sometimes. It just doesn't
I'm
want
sorry.
to.
Well, yeah,
that's okay.
we can just go straight to the page.
Well, what I'll do is I'm going to share my screen. So go ahead and you can take a look at mine, and we'll go through the Indiegogo page together. Okay.
I love it.
All righty. So I've shared my screen. You can just click on my screen, Chris, and we'll go take a look at the Indiegogo while these guys get their foundations down. All right, guys, here we go. We got an Indiegogo project. Are you guys planning on dropping on Kickstarter too, or are you going to stick to Indiegogo only?
We haven't decided yet. The book's done, other than a few panels in case somebody buys the remaining slots. So we could just go ahead and get done. It depends on how well it does. Kickstarter for Florida Man was not quite as popular, so I'm gonna leave that up to the guys.
Oh, sure, makes sense. I do like the artist you got on this. We his name is stuff down the bottom, but why don't you just go ahead and give him a shout out here real quick.
Yeah, Joseph Arnold did all the pencils, and Jeff Slimmons did the finishes and backgrounds. Joseph is a 82nd Airborne U.S. Army vet and
Nice.
is currently an active duty police officer himself.
Awesome.
Yeah, he and Mike Barron have been friends for a long time, and Mike out in Colorado, where they both live. There used to be sort of a comics artist, talented people that would meet. Even Gabe El Taib, who just left DC Comics, was the colorist on Superman. He's been friends with him for a while. He used to live out there. So they've been meeting for a while. And then last year, when the rioting was happening, Mike grabbed the story right out of the headlines and knew that if Joe had the time to do it, he wanted to ask him to do it. And Mike has said that these guys finish the book faster than most pros.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
to be the
that's
way
fair.
nowadays.
Yeah, you know, the odd thing is, we have been running this channel ever since the whole, supposed, air quotes, Comic Gate started, and we've been promoting the indie comic book people the entire time, right? We've had lots and lots of indie people on here, and here's the thing I've noticed: we got a lot of big names in the Comics Gate, and famous
Big
people,
names.
big names,
Famous people.
famous people, and they are always late. I mean, sometimes like a
Yeah.
year or two late, where every other
3.
small time indie guy got his stuff out on time, basically. So
Yeah,
what
when
is
Eric-
that? I still
Eric
don't
was
get that.
Interesting observation. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you, man. But nevertheless, we do love indie comics, and we want to see more and more of it. So, Chris, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play the trailer, which I always do.
Yes.
And I'm sorry to tell you, I'm a bit of a stickler. Am I going to like the trailer?
I hope so. I'm the one that put it together.
It wasn't bad. I thought
Uh-oh.
it was pretty good.
Well, you are a
In that case,
professional.
we love
to go
it.
fuck himself, to be fair.
Yeah, but you
That's
could
what
tell
we
me
all
that.
do.
That is fair. They tell me that quite a bit. But I did kind of check it out here with Mr. Brawley, and you are accredited, sir, and accomplished. So
Thank you. Well, that's
yeah.
my day job, basically.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, you it says you are an award-winning. What award did you get, or what awards did you get?
I've won a couple of Addy awards and just some local stuff.
Oh, that's
That's
cool,
cool.
man. That's cool.
Yeah.
And of course, we know you
Check
haven't said it again.
I said you checked out my you dove in a little bit and
I
learned a little
did.
bit. You've done your research. Yeah, I'm
I
impressed.
I am a researcher by trade, sir. But
Man,
so
splendid.
it is, and it's always great to see. And of course, we know you got an amazing work ethic because you do put Bleeding Fool up, and it's always got great information. We use it over here for our commentary, whether it be comics or our Night Owl show as well. We do appreciate that. But let me go ahead and play this trailer and take a look here.
Beginning with issue number 1,
Oh,
Mike
the
Baron
voice.
wrote Marvel's The Punisher for over 5 years, approaching it as a
hearing
straight
anything.
crime comic. Without
couldn't-
any
I'm not hearing
superhero
anything either.
You wouldn't hear
failures or
anything.
robots.
Oh, okay.
Over the course of 60
I can hear it.
issues, Baron elevated the gritty anti-hero into one of the most
Oh, there you go.
popular and enduring characters in the Marvel Comics universe. Now he brings that same ultra-realistic intensity to his latest graphic
This
novel,
guy's got a great
Thin
voice, by
Blue
the way.
Line.
Yeah, the voice
In
is
the
fucking
middle of a
awesome.
long hot summer, a police shooting ignites a city. Activists, opportunists, and provocateurs descend to riot, loot, burn, and kill. Thin Blue Line follows Officer Valeria Baca and her partner as their detail guarding the mayor turns into a battle for survival. Ride along on this harrowing tale of two brave law enforcement officers fighting for their community and their own survival in a world gone mad. Eisner winner Mike Baron has created an
Should hear
alarming
something.
tale that unflinchingly
Think it's only
examines
fair.
human fallibility
I-
on
you know,
every level.
The people are
Along
listening.
with penciler
Jeff.
Joe Arnold, himself a full-time police officer, and talented anchor Jeff Slemons, they've created a moving and entertaining story ripped straight from today's headlines. Thin Blue Line exposes the defund the police movement and its consequences for society, but several comic book companies have refused to publish it. Now we're asking you to join the effort to distribute it independently and help support the men and women of law enforcement. Get your copy of the only graphic novel to offer an unflinching and not always flattering look at the men and women of law enforcement during a time when we need them the most. Not all heroes wear capes. It's a thin blue line between the rule of law and a world of chaos. Which side are you on? Thin Blue Line by Mike Baron. Order now on Indiegogo.
Okay. My first reaction is that it's the second best badass trailer I've seen on the indie comic.
Oh, that was
Very,
awesome.
very
Wow,
good
cool.
job, Mr. Brawley. That was awesome.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that
Yeah.
guy sounds like Sam Elliott, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, he does. He's got that going on here, that southern twang. Yeah.
Man.
It's.
Chester's really tough on those.
I am very tough
it's-
on these. Yes, I am.
So wow. So I'm flattered then. Thank you.
He
Yeah,
once
well-
made somebody cry.
A couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is,
It was me.
I'm trying to help the indie community. I want them to be better, right? So if I can give
Me
some
too.
critiques on how you set up your page or things you have and make it so that you can go and fix it and make it better and therefore make more money, that's good for you, right? And that's
Sure.
just kind of the way I look at it. But the best one, I can't even remember the name of the project, but Eric, do you remember that one trailer we saw that was just ridiculously badass? You remember that one?
Oh, I remember only a few that you liked, so I don't remember which one it was though.
I can't either. Ah, damn it. That thing, but this is excellent, though. This is excellent. I think for the trailer critics, they probably say it's a bit too long, but I
Agreed.
think it's fine. And it's great voiceover, great production. It looks really, really good. So I think that'll help you. And you are going very, very topical. I didn't realize this was so topical. Because when I read through it,
Yeah.
it just seemed like assault on precinct 13 type esque story. But you're hitting home, and it is topical, especially with the Rittenhouse trial going on right now. It's back in everyone's mind, and it applies. So that's cool. Alrighty.
It's funny because
The
when
character's
Mike
got-
first told me about the
I had to
project,
ask. All the pictures
I was excited. My mom used to work for the district attorney's office here in town. I've gotten in trouble.
Well, Rabbit,
with
if you want
cops
to put a
before.
head in there, you just
Don't
put
get me
the-
wrong.
I'm trying to decide.
But,
I've already drawn a chick, right? You can see what I've done, but I'm trying to decide what to do.
Hold
with
on,
it.
guys. Hold on. Sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
Well, I couldn't tell if maybe my mic was muted. I wasn't sure what was happening, and I don't. And pardon me for being a little rusty at this.
No, that's all right. Go ahead.
But Mike told me about the project, and I said, "Man, this is a great story." And they had already, like I said, they'd already finished all the artwork. So we had a script, and we had all the artwork just drawn and inked, not colored, not lettered. And I said, "Man, we need to send this out to some real publishers because this story is just gripping." And Mike says, "Give it a shot, but nobody's going to touch it."
Yeah.
And sure enough, he was right.
Okay,
It was. We got some
anybody.
ugly.
Yeah, I can't hear him either.
Ugly responses.
Okay, I'll be back.
I can hear him.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Is my sound okay? I'm so
No,
sorry.
it's
guys.
not
No,
you,
they
it's
can.
them.
I can
It's
hear
them.
you. I don't know why they can't hear you.
Yeah.
It's just that's Discord. Discord is
Okay.
funny like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it might be this cheap gamer microphone. So
No, I can hear you
pardon me
now.
If that's what it is.
Yeah, they
Just
just need to
mute-
reset.
Just
It's
mute
fine.
the other guys while he's talking.
No, it's just Discord being shit. See, I can hear everybody now. We just have
Yeah.
to come out
Okay.
and go back in
Yeah.
again.
I'm sorry. Continue, Chris, please.
No, it's fine. So we got some really ugly, shockingly ugly responses, which took me aback. And it was smaller publishers. I mean, of course, we're not going to send it to Marvel or DC, even though DC Comics did start out with Lady Cop back in 1975. They had their own little character, which they
And
totally
also
bastardized over on the CW and turned her into a villain. a couple years
Detective
ago.
Comics. DC Detective
They did, yeah,
Comics.
sure. But this was actually Lady Cop. It's right there on the
Yeah,
campaign.
I got it right
page.
here. DC.
Mm.
Oh yeah, and so some of the smaller publishers. I mean, can you say the F word on this channel?
You can say fuck as much as you want.
Fudge.
Okay. I mean, I got
Fubar.
responses.
You can say the C word if you want. No.
I got responses like abolish the police. That's all they said. That was the whole response.
You know what, right? I'm not American, and I
Yeah.
saw this whole like from the police thing come on. I was like, are you fucking morons?
Yeah.
I mean, literally, like from the outside, I'm like, what are you on about? I mean,
Well, we've
they
got
can
a
be
society
shit, but
here that
Jesus Christ.
wants to leave the doors unlocked and let people come into their house and sleep in them, or effectively leaving the borders open. It's ridiculous how much law has been. It's one way or the other. So, like in Australia, we see these things, and it makes my heart hurt when I see the way some of these police are acting towards their fellow citizens. I applaud the few that say they're not going to do it anymore. And then on the other end of the aisle, you've got some police, which are heroes. And this book does deal a little bit with the ethics issues that some of them face. I mean, the character is Valeria Baca, as you mentioned, and she's kind of based on the actress Diane Guerrero, who was in Orange is the New Black. Yeah, she's a cutie. And this woman she's a single mom. She's Hispanic. She's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu artist. So she's learning that at the beginning. She goes up a level. And on the surface, it looks like, well, this is just a diversity, inclusion, Mary Sue. Which I thought, well, that'll be easy to get past some of these indie publishers, but she's really not. I mean, because this is a good story. It doesn't go where you think it's going to go, but the defund the police movement is kind of exposed for what it really is in this book. And Mike doesn't make any bones about his politics. Mike's a widower. He's remarried, but when his first wife died, he had an exchange with the local police that really gave him a newfound respect for law enforcement and what they go through. And of course, being friends with the artist Joseph for so many years, and Joseph being a cop and seeing what happened last year, Mike just said, what would happen if you were just a cop and you didn't even know anything about this police shooting that started all the rioting, but you got assigned to guard the mayor, and the mayor was like somebody from Portland who was acquiescing to the mob. And you had to protect the mayor, and you had to do your job, and you also had to deal with some cops that were shady,
Yeah, well,
So it's a good story, a lot of tension.
and that's good to hear. And the whole defund thing and border stuff is a bit crazy, especially seeing as if you come into America legally and go through our process, we have the easiest immigration program on earth, right?
Yep.
No other country is easier to
Yep.
get into. And it's
Well,
funny to me they never acknowledge that. It's always because we have no trouble with immigration. We just don't want we want to know who's in our country. You know?
To me, it's a no-brainer. I was watching a press conference at the White House a couple of days ago, and a reporter was talking about this ludicrous plan to give illegal aliens that got separated from their families a $450,000 settlement payment. The ACLU, listen to that. The American Civil Liberties Union is fighting for people who technically aren't even Americans to give them $500,000 or $1 million per family. And a reporter said, well, how much money are we planning on giving the people who came here legally? And the woman said, we're not. And he goes, well, how is that fair for the people that came here legally for us to make millionaires out of the people who broke into our country? It's like a clown world. I don't even know.
That's
It
the word.
upsets me when I think about how ridiculous this country has become under the shaky, demented hand of Joe Biden. I mean, this country's gone to shit. I don't care how you voted.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's fair. Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to upset any. I don't want to upset any Joe Biden voters. I know there's 81 million of them out there.
I was saying Arnold one, but you know.
Who's her partner? It's with her.
200 million of them.
Yeah. She has a partner here. What's his name?
If they had 2 more days, there would have been 90.
Who's the part? Oh, Bob Mack, African American, the black cop.
No, the white guy.
He's not a scene. Gosh, what is his name?
Tom
He
Selleck.
comes in a little later once all the shit goes down. I'm trying to remember what his name is too. I'm sorry, you asked me a question I can't answer.
That's okay. I will try not to do that in the future.
No. Ask the hard questions. I need to get on my game.
All right,
Let's
here's
just
the
call
guy
him Tom
you're talking
Selleck
about.
and move on.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, no, look, good looking book. It sounds like it's of course Mike has a style, a writing style that's always fun. So I'm sure it'll be very, very interesting project once it's in our hands.
Yes.
I've been just going through the page here while you were talking. What now? You guys got 10 days. You said you're going to push it 30. But what are you looking on delivery? How many months out are we for getting this in people's hands? You think?
Well, the letterer will be done 2 weeks after he gets assigned. He's fast. Warren Montgomery is probably the fastest letterer. We used him for Florida Man. And of course, that depends on his bandwidth, if he's super busy or not. But I think once we get that first disbursement, I think it's really just getting the money dispersed because these guys are contractors, the letterer and the colorist are.
Right.
And we paid for to have about 14 pages colored. So there's 40 something more pages. We're actually going to push it up to 64, probably whether we hit that stretch goal or not. We always like to over deliver
the pages.
And
yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Because it's an expensive book. We're a little boutique publisher, right? It's just a niche thing, and there's a limited quantity of these books.
Right.
So you want to make it kind of an event, I guess, for people when they get these.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, we've had this conversation many times, many books here. How to do this direct market type of business, because you don't have the overhead. You have the overhead. You don't have the mass count that allow you to do things cheaper, et cetera, et cetera. Right. So we're looking at $20-25 for a book. Therefore, the way you can compensate that is having a double-sized book or a triple-sized book, right? Just put more pages in there. Yeah. And that's the way to go. I've never really agreed with the guys that put out the 25-30 page, but the 25-page book and still charge $25. I think that's a bit extreme.
Yeah, that's a cheap price.
Yeah, I don't really care for it.
Yeah, there's obviously a tipping point there. I agree with you. Those can be done for a lot cheaper, and I guess they're just figuring whatever the market can bear. But I think that it is important. I like where you're coming from, Chester, that you want these indie publishers. If you're going to do this, you should do it the very best you possibly can. And I think part of that is education. And the only reason that I did Florida Man with Mike was because on bleedingfool.com, we have every Wednesday we promote 3, sometimes more, current self-published books, crowdfunded books. And we've been doing that now for about 3.5 years. We've done almost 500 projects. And I've constantly asked this question, what are you learning? What are some of the pitfalls? And then privately, I'll ask them how they're printing. Sometimes I'll see these goals of just a few $100s. I'm like, how are you printing these books with a $500 goal? That you're going in the hole.
I've wondered about that. Yeah, I've seen them books. I'm like, because I've always thought about when I do mine. I'm like, how is that possible?
Yeah, no.
Most of the time, I think it turns out that most of the time they've already gotten it funded, right? So they don't need to have a huge goal.
Okay.
Excuse me, and I can appreciate that, but at the same time, when we went to Kickstarter with Florida Man, we had already made I think we grossed around 30-something thousand on Indiegogo. And that was only because Reddit censored us and canceled Bleeding Fool and said we couldn't post anything ever about indie comics anywhere.
What is the internet? I don't understand. It's supposed to
it's
be
a strange and magical place.
Yeah, no.
It's a toxic
weird.
sewer.
It has.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
Well, we went to Kickstarter and we set the goal at $500 so that we would hit it quickly. And I think we did around $3,000 on Kickstarter, but our energy wasn't in Kickstarter. It was in Indiegogo. We wound up with a larger customer base. And to answer your question, that's probably why we went to Indiegogo first for Thin Blue Line.
Well, for the indie stuff, it seems to be a better opportunity, I think, right now. But we've had all these conversations over here, and we've tried to, give people some advice from what we've seen, because we talked to a lot of people. We try to share it out, and I think a big chunk of the guys who drop it at a really low price are actually just because they don't know anything. They're new. They see that this indie movement is going on, and they want to be part of it, which is awesome. I have no problem for that. But that's why we've seen so many of these, one and done projects, because they didn't really make any money. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, right? And I appreciate them because in a way they're not making money, but they get it out anyway, for the most part.
Right.
But there is a science to this. For sure. Also, I do appreciate that you didn't undercut yourself with the digital. A lot of guys do that, and you shouldn't. You should be able to make some money on it, so that's good. But I think
if you buy the main book, I think you can add on digital for like $5 or something.
Yeah,
so
but you got it
it's
straight
cheaper
as
if you
as
do.
well.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, if you just get that. We've sold quite a few. Now I've gotten advice on both sides of the fence on that, to either not offer digital at all.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a good idea to have digital.
Yeah, don't listen to Mike S. Miller. Don't listen to him.
It's not Mike, it was John. Actually, John Malin was the one
John?
that told me that.
John, he's part of that group.
But Mike has said it too.
Yeah.
Mike has said it too. And
how can he say that with all the NFT stuff he does?
Because
I don't think Mike says that anymore.
They're thinking short term. That's why they say it.
Yeah.
They're not thinking long term.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think right.
Sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. I'm just
digital's all profit.
Yeah. No.
Well, true. I mean,
you should always have digital.
Yeah.
Always have digital.
Let me come back over and start showing the art again, and
Please.
just get into showing that. Now Eric just piped up, and I'd like to get some opinion from him, because now Eric here is a small-time indie publisher, right? How many books you got out now?
The Zombie World of Oz series, I've got 3, and I'm working on 4 right now.
But you have a couple other projects too. I think you were up to 6 or something like that.
Yeah, I've done other projects for other people.
So now Eric here is a small-time indie publisher guy, right? He's not working for Image or any of those kind of things, but he produces everything on his book. He sells it on the Indiegogo. He delivers it. Now, Eric, seeing as you've successfully put out these books, what would you say would be the absolute minimum goal that you would even think about doing?
I always start around 1,200 or 1,500.
All right. And that seems to work out because you're able to produce your books and get them in people's hands in a timely fashion. Now,
yeah, they've all been on time. So,
have any of these dug into your wallet, or have they all been covered?
Some of the international shipping has dug into my wallet, but other than that, everything's been covered. I mean, I've still made a profit on each one, to be honest with you.
Oh, there you go.
Not a huge profit, but yeah, the last one, issue 3, was I raised $6,500.
Right. And
shipping to me would cost you a fortune, I'm sure.
Oh, I would be worse.
Almost 30, about $30.
Yeah.
Right under, just under. It depends.
Can I mention something about overseas shipping? If you're not using pirate ship, you're getting ripped off.
Oh, that's interesting.
I was pricing. So what I did today, and you're right, it's a formula, but because I'm looking at the numbers so far coming in, and we've got people from Austria, we've got people from the UK, we've got Canada, we've got several international backers. So I started pricing what it costs to send these books, and we can send to the UK a book with other little extras in it for about $16, $16.50.
Oh, that's quite
pretty
cheap.
good.
Use pirateship.com. That is my big recommendation for anybody. Plus, you save money domestically too. We can send these books for media mail insured, for about $350.
Oh, wow. See, that's good information. That's the kind of stuff we want to hear over here, because we've had this conversation many times, how to deal with shipping internationally.
This is why I don't buy a lot of books from England, because it's just too expensive. It's like paying twice for a book half the time.
It's outrageous. What pirate shipping does, what's so great about the setup, we got one of those heat label printers, so you just plug in the information and they set it up and you can hit print right within the website, and they find the cheapest shipping for you. And when it's an overseas shipping, what it does is it ships to one of their hubs in the US, and then everything going to that country goes as one giant shipment, but the buyer can track it all the way to their doorstep.
Really
It's really incredible. It's pirateship.com.
Yeah,
I just had an issue with that. Because all my international, they get shipped to a hub, then they get shipped out. My backer in Australia, I mean, it took like a month and a half for them to get it.
Sure.
When they got it, the labels apparently had got switched. They got someone's package of seeds.
Oh my!
Oh no. Dear!
I was like,
well, shit happens.
Yeah,
I get that shit happens.
That is the only time I've had an issue.
Did you use Pirate Ship yourself?
I was using stamps.com.
Okay.
Yeah, Pirate Ship was going to be my next option because I'd seen a lot of advertisement for them recently.
No, that's good information.
First time I hear about it, but it sounds good.
Yeah, no, keep it in mind.
Yeah, they're great. They're highly recommended, guys. Highly, highly recommended.
I'll definitely check them out for my next one.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And Pablo over here in the chat says, has a couple comments that I agree with. Some people just want to publish something. That is true. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and he also says, doesn't matter if it makes any money or not. No, it shouldn't if you're trying to get your foot in the door.
That's true, but you can do webcomics, can't you, instead?
Yep.
You don't have to necessarily try and publish something.
And,
it's a vanity press. People do these things just to sort of satisfy their ego, and I totally get that.
Sure.
I don't want to take anything away from them, but I think what happens is if you're out there promoting yours and you're going to be okay with $700 raised, I think you're giving a false impression of what it really takes to do this if you want to make some money.
I agree.
Because most people aren't doing it for free, or they don't want to.
I wouldn't want to. Definitely, I wouldn't want to do it for that. It's not worth the time you put into your art.
Well, it depends on your point of view. That's fair. But it's interesting you guys mentioned the webtoons things, because we've had this conversation many times. And how do we bridge that gap? Because the webtoons, millions and millions of views on these webtoons. It's huge.
There's some good stuff on there as well. Yeah.
So how do we bring that back to actual comic books? Is the question? You're
asking the wrong person.
That's I don't know, because the old argument nowadays is comic books are not passive consumables. And with so many people now watching movies and animation streaming, and it's all right there on your smart device, it shocks me that some people still read at all, because you actually have to pay attention to read it on a YouTube.
Man, that's sad.
thing. It is, but I mean, that's just the reality of where we're at, right? I mean, I don't want to lament, like if I was a buggy whip maker, I'd be out of business, right? So comic books are becoming just sort of an older art form, and we have to be okay with that.
Yeah,
and
but
continue to encourage the fandom.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with webtoons. I think it's fine. But and I understand what you're saying, but that is very much a North American point of view. Because if you go to Europe, they're selling comics like crazy. Japan will have a single comic, anime or manga, single comic book that will outsell the entirety of DC and Marvel together. Their entire annual sales, one book.
Well, you know how a rising tide lifts all boats. I think the problem is that Marvel kind of is depressing the market, right? So when people tap out of Marvel or DC, they're just going to be like, you know what? If I can't read Green Lantern or Spider-Man without it being woke or political or really just shoddy, I mean, how terrible was the last She-Hulk run? I don't know that I'm interested in picking it up anymore.
Yeah.
So I think some people, not everybody, but enough people just say, you know what, comics suck anyway. I'm tired of them. They just get a bad taste in their mouth, and they're not going to go to the comic shop anymore. By the way, that other police officer is Officer J.J. Schmidt.
Oh, okay.
Schmidt, if anybody wants to know.
Well,
I like Tom Selleck better.
Yeah, I said it.
Yeah, he looks like him, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, the old axiom in America is, as Marvel goes, so does the comic book industry, and it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is.
So, I mean, it's unfortunate that we're sitting in this situation, because if Marvel was, cracking it out, we wouldn't have these problems. Because it's shocking. Because I don't know how many of you guys have traveled internationally. Of course, many of you are international from an American point of view. But me myself, I've traveled all over the world and done all kind of stuff. And one thing that is true, you have to try really, really hard to find a place that isn't as modern and looks just like America, right? Every place in the world looks just like America. People are driving cars. The buildings look the same. McDonald's is everywhere. There are convenience stores everywhere. They have big box stores. No matter where you go in the world, that's what you're going to see. So the world is not different. It is always contemporary to itself, historically. And when you have places like Europe and Asia that are just banging on comic books, I mean, banging them, and America, the creator of comic books, is on its knees, you've really fucked up.
I'm glad we have 2000 AD, because that's still really good.
Yeah, well, the Europeans are killing it, dude.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that, and I liked Ethan Van Sciver's theory of the case, that these companies here, Marvel and DC, are owned by these larger corporations, which are now chasing funding investments based on how the company impacts the climate or how the company is addressing diversity and inclusion. And that's a real thing. What's actually happening as these companies have grown and become slaves to the their corporate masters, they basically have to do whatever the company says. And if they need to be more green and they need to have Superboy fighting climate change with a sign, or et cetera, that's what they're doing. And they're basically raping their histories and their legacies to the chagrin of the people that have been keeping them afloat.
And I feel so bad for comic book fans.
Yeah, no.
Well,
I hate to say it like that, because I mean, I grew up on manga in 2000 AD. I mean, I don't know American comics as well as everyone else. It's not really a big thing over here.
That's wonderful.
Well, my brothers...
I grew up on watching reading the Aliens comics and the 2000 AD comics.
Sure.
I mean, a few Batman here and there, bits and pieces, but that was about it. You know what I mean? We didn't really touch on that when I was younger.
No Captain Britain? You weren't a Captain Britain fan?
I never even heard of it.
Oh, did they wussed him out like crazy?
When I found Heavy Metal, I barely picked up another Marvel.
Oh God, Heavy Metal is awesome, dude. Yeah,
Heavy Metal is fucking cool.
Yeah.
It used to be.
It used to be.
Yeah, I'm talking about like 2000s era.
When he first...
Early 90s, 2000s.
Yeah, no,
I got hooked on heavy metal back in the late 80s.
Yeah, me too.
And for me, really, I was reading the black and white Marvel, Conan, John Buscema, Ernie Chan magazines. That's, to me, and really when I looked at Thin Blue Line, this art from Joseph, it reminded me a lot of old Ernie Chan stuff from back in the day. The stuff looks beautiful, black and white. But, these days it's got to be color for most readers.
I did like the Steve, not Steve Ditko, Steve Dillon something, the Punisher run.
Oh yeah.
Garth Ennis, I think his story.
Yeah.
Garth Ennis,
right.
He did some.
I
Good
forget
stuff
the
on
artist's
it.
name. It's not in my head right now, but I liked his style. Yeah, Punisher was one of my
when
favorites.
Garth took over, it was as gritty as it ever was, because I think that's when they did the Axe line, wasn't it? Marvel Max
Marvel
Max,
Knights.
that's when they started Max. Yeah. Well,
Max
that British
or Marvel
invasion
Knights
was awesome. So, yeah. And those guys. And here's the thing: we talk about Garth Ennis, Grant Morrison, people like that, Alan Moore. Sorry. All these guys were very political, but they were storytellers first, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we love their books. So I mean, the thing is, they could be what they seem to want to be. Just hire good writers that know how to do the job.
That's a good point. And by the way, that artist you're thinking of was Steve Dillon.
Steve Dillon, yeah.
Every time I put out a press release or something about this, I always run it by Mike, who is the writer, obviously, and a good one. And he always says, you're using too many words. And I think that's the problem today with modern Marvel, particularly. It's also bad at DC, is there's so many word balloons that it is a lecture. They are telling, not showing.
That's right.
And to me, I've always been an art guy. I mean, some people, they read, they don't care what the art looks like as long as it's a good story. I'm not that way, because even a good story can be distracted from by bad art. So I'm an art first. Matter of fact, these paintings back here are things that I did back when I was doing a Patrick Nagel study. So, I mean, art is my first love, but, even great art is worthless with a shitty story, right? Yeah. I mean, you'll just forget about it because at the end of the day, I'm reading the captions, I'm reading the word balloons, I'm following the action. And then if I enjoyed it, I may go back and enjoy the art a little bit more. And we just did a book club on Monsters by Barry Windsor Smith. If nobody here's read Monsters by Barry Windsor Smith, it is one of the most beautiful, touching stories I've ever read. And it was originally pitched for the Hulk, and Marvel said no. It's just great. And the artwork is so beautiful. You'll sit and stay on a page forever. But the fact is that it's so well written, it'll almost bring you to tears. It's just great.
Why did they say
when
no?
you have that synergy between good artwork and a great story, I just wish there was more of it.
Yeah. Now, Pablo over here in the chat, he's got a lot to say today. Also, American superhero comics are hard to follow. Well, in a way, that's true. Other places, when they have a comic book, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. So there's a story you can pick up and you can read that character's story. In America, they just keep rebooting it, updating it, doing et cetera, et cetera. It's never ending. So
spreading
fair
the
enough.
story across other titles.
Yeah,
like you have to read other titles to get what's going on in one title. Like,
and it's all about money
crossovers.
making, right? Yeah, there's nothing to do with
50 different Avengers comics.
Yeah.
If you're interested in a detective story that's pretty cool, I recommend Black Sad. It's a European comic.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Anthropomorphic animals and stuff. So the main character is a cat.
Mickey Spillane is what it is. Mike Hammer.
The art is like, the artist is ex-Disney, and it's just got this amazing kind of cartoony style. I highly recommend it. Yeah.
Hello, Rose.
Like
how are you doing?
Noir.
She's back.
I finally got here. I finally made it into my little purple closet. So congratulations to all of you.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know what I have not a clue. You are so brave to even have me on here in the first place. Thank you.
Everyone's
stunning and brave.
I am.
I know.
I am. That is true.
I'm such a pioneer. I feel like a woman stuck in a woman's body. I can't even say it.
Oh, okay, that was funny.
Damn it, it's Chipper, man.
Well, no, we're very happy to have you here. You get your room set up for it, which is neat. And you are drawing. You get a pad there, so as you're going through, as you get some work done, just put it up in front of the screen, and we'll take a look at it from time to time. So, what is your plan today for the Thin Blue line?
Well, actually, I'm coming at it from the perspective of a first responder. I've actually, prior to me getting kind of in a weird place with my health, I actually was a firefighter and a volunteer firefighter. I was stunning and brave. And I was that way because my house nearly burned down one time and there wasn't any fire to do it. So I became a firefighter and an EMT. And I'm a storm chaser, storm spotter, actually Skywarn. So when I look at, when I was looking at Thin Blue Line, I was just blown away by the concept because we have a lot of people that look at first responders from this very cookie cutter perspective that they're this brawny hero or they're this corrupt cop. But the truth is that all first responders like Leo's, they're all very complex. There's a lot of baggage that comes with this. There's a lot of emotional depth that comes from when you sit with a body as somebody else is being pulled out of a wreck and you watch their eyes as they go by someone they love and you have to tell them, I'm staying with your loved one, but you have to go to the hospital. And what do you tell them? How do you deal with this? First responders and Leos have to go through this all the time. So when we're looking at the storyline of these people that are just fighting to keep themselves alive in this terrible situation, which is very closely mirrored by a lot of things that are happening nowadays, especially when we look at certain trials that are going on right now. And what do we do? How do we defend ourselves and our loved ones? And how do we take care of ourselves? And we have a responsibility as first responders to protect you, to protect the people that we have been sent to serve. And you have that dichotomy of saving yourself and doing what's the best thing for yourself as opposed to what's doing the best thing for everybody else. And sometimes those two goals don't meet. So we have these wonderful characters that he's made and this great storyline, which honestly, I love the fact that he's going there, that he's actually involved in what's happening now. I don't know about y'all, but this kind of stuff eats me up day after day.
It does.
I don't know about you, but I'm old actually, and being old really does something cool for you. It actually makes you care about what's happening in the news. When you're younger, you're like, whatever, I don't care. You're going to go eat and going to go play a game or whatever, which is what I used to do. And the older I get, I realize, man, this is this is affecting people. This is affecting lives. And so wisdom. I love the storyline.
Yeah.
I think that that's that feeling that I get when I'm looking at the storyline is with all the action that's happening, there's a lot of pain there. Now, the good news is that I may not actually be able to draw because it's not any good. You see what I do. It looks like little stick figures, like toy people made something. I can't even draw half the time. And the other cool story that I've got, which y'all don't mind me saying, I'm actually going blind. I have macular degeneration, which is cool. Yay, I got it. Well, I've just found out about a year ago, and they were like, we don't know how fast it'll go, but I can already tell some things are kind of off. So I get really cool, like fisheye perspective sometimes. I'll make this really weird picture, and all of a sudden everybody looks strange on it. So I get some really cool, trippy stuff going on. So I'm going to see if that happens tonight. And if it does, you just go, she's going blind. It's all right.
Okay,
she can't see what she's doing.
You'll be your Salvador Dali of drawn and quartered.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. And for our international listeners who don't know, a Leo is a law enforcement officer.
Yeah, law enforcement officer. What's cool about this project, too, is that we're donating a portion of the funds. If we hit our goal, which we have, we're going to be donating a portion of the funds to not only a memorial fund that basically memorializes fallen police officers, but there's also a Fallen Officer Foundation that helps families, kids of officers that have been slain. And then there's what's the cool one is the Adopt a Cop, which they train police officers in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu so that it's less likely that they'll hurt a suspect out in the field, so that you don't have another George Floyd incident or something like that.
Good idea.
And it also protects them as well. So we're trying to give back and show law enforcement that, we support them. We know it's a tough job. And Rosa's right as she highlights that, there's a lot of personal drama that goes on, particularly for people that are out on the streets dealing with this stuff on the front lines, and then they have to go home to their family. And there's a couple of scenes in the book And it is a one and done. I mean, it's a 3-act story. It's not a continuation or anything. And she turns off the TV because she doesn't want her little girl to hear some of the stuff that is going on television, not just the news, which happens a couple times, but also just a game show that she's watching. She just doesn't. She wants to try to protect her little daughter from the evils of the world. It's a really touching story.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother conversation about that, and this this debauchery that's being thrown in front of our children. The interesting thing about
where you're just showing him draw a butt. Sorry.
Yeah, well, but we also give a disclaimer. This is not for children.
What's with this debauchery?
Yeah, true.
What's with this debauchery on the screen?
Triggered.
It's a butt from Spencer Toons, who's awesome. That's what it is. But like I said, we put a disclaimer out, and I don't have a problem with people.
Man, that looks great. That looks fantastic.
It is. Show him the face, Spencer. Spencer's got a real nice cartoony style. I love it. Yeah, that's awesome.
Hands up! You're under arrest.
Man, I'm the opposite.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
That's funny.
Immediately. But the funny thing that both of you guys had mentioned, Chris and Rose, regarding police, there is conversation that can be had. There are some things with the police that are questionable that would be better to improve. There are many things in our modern society that are broken. Law enforcement, judicial system. But they're just not the way they should be. They're not serving the public. So you can have conversations about, we could improve this or that. But the conversation doesn't go from how can we make this better to cancel it, defund it.
Yeah,
that's not the
abolish the police. Yeah.
Defund and abolish the police is a terrible thing. It should be. They should get de-escalation training. They should get
how did that even become
more community outreach programs.
Yeah. No, exactly.
That kind of stuff.
Well, and there just needs to be accountability too. I think that so many things happen. You think about it right now, like what's going on in Australia, where you have people that you think that the law enforcement officers would back off and say, hey, this isn't right. We're going to step down. But I think a lot of it is psychological, right? The people that you're surrounded with are okay with it. They're all doing it. We're all kind of going along and doing what our peers and stuff. There's peer pressure, and they want to keep their jobs.
Yeah.
And as far as getting a little rough, I imagine, if you will, you're a police officer and someone just takes a few shots with their gun at your car, and then you're in a car chase and it's really scary, and you're racing down the road, and then maybe they finally crash and you get out and you run over to put cuffs on them, and they get an advantage on you and almost take your gun, and then they're choking you. When you finally get an advantage as the police officer, you might get a little rough. Your adrenaline might be so massive at that point. You're about to explode, and you could potentially get a little rougher than you normally should or would. So, I mean, it's a tough job. Or just imagine the sort of mindset you would have if you did almost get killed, and then you have to go home and throw baseball with your son out in the backyard, and you've got to kind of shake off the fact that someone just tried to kill you that you didn't know. I mean, even taking away the idea that you're a cop, if any of us were almost killed on the street by somebody, it might take us a good 48, 72 hours to shake that off, maybe even longer, depending on the how traumatic the circumstances were. So first responders, man, they are out there at the edge of death, almost every day. I mean, every time you pull over a car for speeding, you don't know if that guy's or gal is on the lam for murder or robbery or something else. They're just going to kill you. Maybe they've got a bunch of drugs in the back, and you're pulling them over for a tail light. You could get your head blown off.
Yeah,
that's true. It's a tough job.
I have a friend that's in the police force in this country. I mean, it's a little different over here because obviously everyone doesn't have guns, but it's still very dangerous. So he's always on about. You don't know what it's like until you talk to somebody who's actually involved in it. People have all these ideas. Oh, it's this and this, and they exaggerate things. I mean, when I was young, I used to hate the police because I was a skateboarder. Like, oh, I can't skate here. Fuck you. But when you actually, when you get older, you're like, oh, okay. You actually start to understand when you talk to somebody who's involved in it, you're like, okay, you actually appreciate it more, a lot more.
There's a few things that I don't like that I don't think are actually the police's fault per se. Like The fact that they have a lot of quotas and stuff, you know.
Well, that's the councils and stuff and government, isn't it? That is.
Oh yeah, that's what I was
Well,
talking
yeah,
about.
they've got to deal with a bureaucracy. Sure,
Yeah.
they've got to deal with a bureaucracy that has to keep itself
like
alive.
speeding and parking tickets and shit like that.
And then that should never happen because the law isn't there as a revenue generator for a township or even a judicial system.
You shouldn't turn your police officers into tax collectors. Absolutely.
Exactly.
I agree.
But
I agree.
But the thing is that my grandfather was a chief of police, and this was way back in the '60s, and he really loved his job. I could tell you lots of stories about him. But he eventually, I think it was the late '60s, he finally retired, and that was after I think I want to say they begged, but they asked him to please stay on because he was very well respected. But at one point he said, I just can't do this anymore. And he goes, it's because, and he never really said why, but he told my grandma that it was basically that they don't respect the police anymore. Yeah. And this is, during the heyday of the hippies and, the riots during that time. And, law enforcement was probably a little bit rougher than what it was, or than what it is today. People can't imagine that, but it's probably a little bit rougher than it was today. But then again, you had a lot of communities where you did not have the amount of crime that you have.
Right.
And it's when they started with all this social engineering and how the system was bad and the establishment was bad and all that. That's where all this started. And now we're reaping the bitter fruit of that initial planning. So it comes back to you have to have a community that has a fundamental respect for the law and why it's there.
Yeah. And
you have to have a certain respect for the people that have to enforce the law. And the law enforcement needs to, somebody mentioned it, is that they have to stop being law enforcement officials and have to go back to protect and serve. Because they are, they serve the community in addition to enforcing the law, but first and foremost, they take an oath to protect and serve.
Yeah. Well,
and
you're right on that, Jeff. I agree with that in general. However, I would say that things are rougher now than they used to be with the police.
Well, they're rougher because they're rougher because we've allowed things to get out of control.
No respect for anything. Yeah, that's the problem.
Exactly.
How
about Mike Barron says you're either for the rule of law or you're not. At the end of the day, it's like when I got a call the other day from a Newsarama about the book. He was kind of triggered about some of the things in the press release, and I just said, look, we don't, there's going to be a certain segment of readers that won't like this book. I mean, if you hate cops, you won't like the book. It's as simple as that. You might come away with a little more respect for law enforcement if you don't like cops going into it. But if you don't like cops, you're not going to buy this book. I mean, it's just that simple. So it's not a big deal for Mike to say something like you're either for the rule of law or you're not, because maybe this book isn't for you. I mean, if you are pro defunding the police, don't back the book because it's not going to appeal to you.
If you don't like my politics, don't buy my book.
Don't buy my book. Kelly.
No, exactly.
Yeah. But, well, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what this is, right? So, I mean, we get that we are alienating, this one publisher said you're alienating half the country.
Half?
Like if
I
half of America.
I wouldn't go that far.
No,
that's what I said.
bullshit.
I said if half of America hates cops, then we're already going down the toilet.
I've made my character too Japanese. Yeah. I know you're talking. I'm just thinking out loud.
You're alienating the bitchy 1/3 of this country.
Yeah, the 20%. And the thing is, and Chris, this is as well as we do, because with your Bleeding Fool website, which is awesome, by the way. But you know right well that these people who make all that noise, that 20%, they don't buy it anyway.
Oh God, right. No, they never do.
So you're
just
never selling to them.
Did you ever, when you were younger, a lot of what's going on these days, I think in comic books, movies, television shows, and so on, and I think it's shared by the attitude of these people who are so triggered that don't even buy comics to begin with. It's like having, let's say you had some action figures, some old Mikos, or maybe some Star Wars figures, okay? Picture you and your buddy, your little tyke, 7, 8 years old. You're playing with your Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, whatever. And then the snobby rich kid in the neighborhood comes over and says, "Oh, what are you doing?" And grabs the Han Solo and says, "Hey, let me make Han Solo butt fuck Darth Vader." And you're like, "What are you doing? That's not Star Wars. What's going on?" And you're like,
That's
"Hey,
not real
get
life."
with the times." Yeah, but the thing is that's what they're doing. They don't care. They've picked up the toys and they're playing with it as
so
disrespectfully as they want. It's a whole deconstruction of every genre.
That's true, dude. And
Subversive
sodomy
to the
is the
point
word
of
of the
being
day every
destructive.
day for them. Yes.
Is it? Well, maybe
Yeah,
so.
it
I
seems
guess.
so.
I mean, if
I
you're
think
into
so.
that,
Yeah.
but Han Solo wasn't into it,
No,
was he?
no, he
No,
was
he
not.
was into
sir.
the Leia.
Might have been
Yeah.
a little bestiality. I don't know. I mean,
Oh no,
whatever.
no, definitely not. Now, Rabbit and
That's
Tuesday and Mike, you guys are not sharing your screen.
Don't do it.
I am. Oh no, sorry, I disconnected, didn't I?
Rosa, I'm sorry,
my
you
bad.
said something.
My
Say it
bad.
again.
My bad. Hang on.
No, we shouldn't go there about the Luke and Leia business, because that when it was first originally written, they were not a sister and brother. Because I actually had the original, one of the original ones before they came out. When it first came out in 1977, I had the paperback, and they actually had a whole series of stories where Luke and Leia were not a brother and sister. And then when Lucas came in and he was like, "Oh, they want her with Han Solo," he changed up the storyline, and it actually came out later. That they had these fan stories all pulled off the shelves because they had made them with the shipping Luke and Leia, so which was kind of crazy. But this whole thing about, well, here's the thing. So they come in and they want us to write these stories because I'm writing this series, and one of the first things that came up is, who are you writing this story for? Well, first of all, the story is the story itself. You have to write the story as it exists in your head and your heart. You got a story. No, I don't really think that that Tolkien sat around going, "Gee, I really don't want to alienate Canadians," and he didn't come in and just try to figure out how to not alienate Canadians. He
fuck
wrote
the
a
Canadians.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
you
I know.
alienated the
Stupid
Canadians.
freaking Canadians.
Goddamn Canadians.
Kidden's not here. It's okay.
I'm sorry, Rosa.
literally-
Rosa, go ahead.
No, you're cool. It's like we sit around all the time trying to figure, who am I going to not offend? You end up writing no story. There's no interest there. You can't have a hero that has a complex life or who makes a slur or says something wrong. They have no soul. They have no personality because we're so busy sanitizing them to make them palatable for everybody. You know what that is? It's called pablum. It's called baby food. You don't want to eat that. When you're a grown adult, you want to eat meat. And meat has lots of bad stuff, and like cholesterol and fat and good stuff. It's tasty, but it's real. We're writing stories that are pablum, that actually have nothing of value in them. They are made they're made for the lowest common denominator a lot of the time. There are some really great stories out there that have terrible, what I consider to be, they're not good, what I would call romance, or not what I would call, action for me. I don't buy them.
No.
It's not for me.
No.
I didn't go to the gay porn aisle and go, "I don't like that because it doesn't have women in it." I'm like, I don't do that. Why would they do it to somebody else? When they come in and they literally co-opt a cultural icon like Superman, and they go and make him into something he isn't. This is cultural cannibalism. It's literally coming in and taking over a piece of a culture, a secular mythos, and taking that mythos apart and putting your own gods in place. And when you do that, then you expect people to worship that God the same way you always did. They want us to come in, "Oh, it's Superman, it's wonderful, and now he's got a purple-haired boyfriend." We're not doing that. We remember Superman as we want to have him. We want to have that particular character. We know this character. We've grown up with him. Why not make a wonderful, fully fledged out character of your own that is gay? If you want to do that, make that person alive.
We already have
Create
that. DC's got one of the most awesome gay characters ever made. His name is Midnighter.
Midnighter, yeah.
He's badass.
I don't know anything about it, but
And
yeah,
there's
you're
more
not
of those
wrong.
characters.
Well, my thought has always been is that storytelling nowadays has become, back in the old days, it was always something outside of the reader. It was something, like the brave world or the strange world around you, Conan, like even like Superman. You were always the stories always talked about something outside of the reader or outside of the character. Now storytelling is all internal. It's all about the identity, and I kind of think it
They've
sucks.
lost storytelling, I feel like.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I
so-
mean,
Yeah.
you write your story
the
however you
storytelling's not the
want,
same.
and it hits or it doesn't hit, right? That's how it's always been,
Mm.
right?
Well-
you don't try to get to a demographic, because when you do that, you get horrible writing and you get all these crappy movies and TV shows we're seeing now.
Well, it's not. It's not only that. It's not only that. It is. It. The more people read the stories, the more fans you'll eventually bring, because there's going to be certain people who like it, certain people who don't. But the problem is that the entire entertainment infrastructure has gatekeepers, and all those gatekeepers, they have their own particular agendas.
Man,
And
when did the world get so fucking stupid?
Yeah.
Sorry, it just pisses me off every
2012
time I
when
look
we
at the
fell
internet.
into an
It just makes
alternate
me angry
timeline, I think.
all the time.
Yeah, the world
but,
actually
Also,
did
that it's
end
content.
in
Everything is
2012.
a consumable. Everything
Yeah.
is a product because they've
Sure.
got to make money. And if
Yeah.
it's all content, it's consumable. And so they're just trying to find this imaginary audience. And there's an audience for that, I suppose. But I made the argument the other day with somebody who was talking about Superman becoming a climate alarmist, anti-American, bisexual, or Tim.
That's
Drake
literally
being
the
bisexual.
anti-Superman, isn't it? I mean, that
Yeah.
just. I mean,
It's-
I'm not
it is,
American,
but-
but I know that's
Well,
not right.
the funny thing about that, though.
But I
before-
said to them,
Yeah, go ahead.
go ahead.
Well, no,
Well,
I
I
just
said to
wanted
them,
to
I said,
add
it's
to
funny
it.
how it always goes just one way. It always goes in one direction. I said, when are we going to see Batwoman decide to take her Jewish faith seriously and go straight and marry a guy? Is that ever going to happen? Of course it's not going to
Of course
happen.
it's
But
not.
Tim
Well,
Drake
unless
is-
it's a thing that they decide that's politically correct, and then they'll do it.
Yeah.
at that point, maybe it'll be an Elseworld story, but they won't. It's going into
Already an
the
Elseworld
narrative
story.
of the direction that they want everything to go.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, the thing is that that never stays like this. There's always a cycle, and inevitably there's always a breakthrough, and then the next thing you know, the industry turns. But sometimes sometimes it's just got to burn to the ground.
Yeah,
hate
well,
to say it.
I think
unfortunately.
that when you make Superman gay, you don't take that back.
No.
Yeah,
They're
no,
not going to
you
have
don't.
an identity crisis event.
And
They've done it, and they did it. They did all these back to back to back. The bisexual thing was just small potatoes, because next we're going to do climate change, and then 2 weeks later we're going to tell you that he's never going to say the American way again. And I love the comic book fans that say, no, that's not Superman. That's Jonathan. That's John Kent. That's his son. I'm like, well, go read all the global news, and all they said was Superman. They never said Clark Kent's son.
Yeah, no,
They
didn't.
knew what they were doing because they were applying this new narrative to Superman. They're getting rid of the original, and this is the way going forward. So if they suddenly had some event where they no longer had a bisexual Superman, who is going to be triggered by that? All the people who are clapping like seals right now and telling you that you're a bigot if you don't agree with it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't
It
know
is
what
crazy,
AT&T is
and
thinking.
This is why
but
English
I blame
comics are
Daniel
okay.
Cherry. I blame Daniel Cherry.
I can
Oh,
I
okay.
can read English comics, right? They never made Judge Dredd gay. They went, well, he's still a badass.
Why
That's
would
never
they?
changed.
That would be stupid. But the
Yeah, but that's why would they change Superman?
Be-
It is fucking stupid.
'Cause they are
you know what I
stupid.
mean? It's
But
the
Makes
same
no
thing.
sense.
And
The-
don't change Tintin.
they should.
Exactly.
But
Give
the
him
true
square eyes.
Mickey
irony.
Mouse. Are Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck going to come out together? I mean, come
I
on.
bet they will.
Have they not already?
But,
I mean, I
the
don't
real
know.
irony of that cover that you're talking about, with them being, global warming activists, is that multiple of those superheroes on that cover could end global warming.
Yes.
Yeah, they have the power to
And
do
multiple
so.
superheroes are gay on that cover, which is kind of surprising at the percentage. But what's even more surprising is, isn't there a creature in the background destroying property and putting people's lives in danger?
Yeah, but you
Why
don't
are
care
we
about that.
marching across
Love
the
it.
ground
Of course,
carrying
yeah.
a sign about global warming while
Right.
this carnage is happening? It's a joke. I really thought Tom Taylor might be trolling people. Like this was all some sort of a sick, sad joke, but it's not.
Well,
DC Comics is the sick, sad joke.
He's depressed. we
I
got to
feel
give
sorry
Tom
for all you
some
lot
time.
that grew up with this
But
comic
hold on a second. I got a little bit of
much
maintenance here to do,
He's
guys. Hold on
depressed.
a
That's
second, hold on a
that's a
second.
good theory.
Yeah, I think it is. Okay, keep in mind, guys, we do hope you're doing the draw along as usual. Once again, that's over on hashtag DNQFE on Twitter, hashtag DNQFE.
And
We
the
check it that
Discord.
out.
Don't forget the draw along Discord.
And the Discord as well, which makes it much more difficult for me. Thank you very much, Rabbit.
Yes, but people hate Twitter. You have to remember.
Yeah, fair
that.
enough. I don't like it either. But hopefully you guys are doing the draw along. We'll check that out at the end of the show. We do have ourselves about 50 minutes left. I'm going to go get myself some coffee. So therefore, Jeff,
You're fucking kidding me.
You're in charge.
Chester, before you go, is my picture too Japanese?
No, I love it, and it is perfectly Japanese. What's wrong with that?
Okay, I'm just asking
Yeah,
because
but
I
Jeff
didn't
is
realize I
going
had
to
50
critique
minutes
you.
left. I spent an hour on this, and I don't know what to do.
That's
Chinese,
okay.
Japanese,
I'm nice though.
Japanese,
Jeff is a
Japanese,
taskmaster, so I think you might have trouble coming.
That is
yeah.
awesome.
Are you ready,
That
Jeff?
That's great.
I was born ready.
All right, awesome. This is a
Yes,
difficult crowd
yes.
to control today, dude.
Yes,
Good luck to you.
I'm ready.
I'll be back in about 5-10 minutes. Yeah.
All right. It's gone.
Have we been through all the art? Sorry, I know I haven't been paying attention. It's hard to pay attention when you're drawing. It's so difficult.
I can't. I'm sitting here looking at mine. I'm like, I'm not showing y'all this. This is like, y'all are like.
Hold it
I
up
don't
to your
know.
camera, and we'll be able
No,
to see
Let's
it.
look at everybody's.
Yeah,
Let's go through, Jeff. Let's show off.
Show
whatever.
everybody.
let's see if I
dude.
can do this.
Oh, stop.
There you go. Hold it up and start with Rosa because she's holding it up.
Let's see. Let's see if I can share my screen.
Oh, it's
And-
like sad. I don't even know how to do this. I'm like, I am so lost at this point. Well, I'm gonna
You do.
pretend.
You're doing it right. You're sharing your camera. You're doing your drawing. It's the first time you've ever been on,
Shove
right?
it up in there.
It's nice to have new
Being
artists.
here is half the battle.
It's nice to have new artists on. That's what we need. New people coming on, drawing.
I don't know if I would call me an artist. It's like I'm an illustrator.
Everyone's a fucking artist. Anyone
Yeah,
can draw. A writer is an artist. Everyone's an artist. What just happened? Oh, there you go.
Okay, I'm sharing my screen.
Oh, I see.
Okay,
Ooh, let's-
so let's take a look at Armoron here.
Yeah, I'm doing like an original character of a friend of mine's. It's a police officer type. Superhero
like a-
character.
It's
I
not
could-
a
I could
sexy
s-
one then, is it?
I could see her pulling me over for doing 5 over. Okay.
Let's
Take a look at Eric Hawkins.
Yeah, the right
wish
to
you
remain silent.
And I've drank far too much alcohol.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's nice.
Thanks. Where's Eric? Let's have a look at Eric. I love Eric's. That is really good.
Okay.
It was spot on to the character, actually.
One Doom Rabbit. No. It does look
Okay.
kind of Japanese. I think you're
Yeah.
turning Japanese. I really think
Pretty
so.
cool.
That would be
I did.
awesome.
I never know what to do. I don't know. I don't know. Should have done something more.
Oh. It's okay, moving on.
Moving on.
Let's
We
get,
want
let's
to
get
know.
Rose up here. Or did we lose Rose?
No, I'm here. Can you
Yeah.
see me still? I'm
Yeah,
like
I
down
can-
here at the bottom.
I'm done.
I should
Yeah.
be.
Can I bring that up?
How can I see?
No, of course I can't.
But,
Yours will not come up. There we go.
oh yeah, that, okay.
Okay, let's see your drawing.
Who, me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you.
Let's hold it back up to the screen again.
I don't know if I can do this or not. I'm
Hold it
actually.
still. Hold it
trying-
still.
I'm sorry.
Potatoing.
Oh, that's great.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
no,
that's
don't
good.
apologize.
Okay, to see it.
Yeah, that's good. That's
I'm
actually pretty
drawing
good.
this actually from a scene that I've seen before of people screaming at folks who are trying to help. At the same time, screaming about what bigots they are or what evil they are when they're literally trying to stop someone from bleeding to death. And there's this dichotomy of people who really think they're virtue signaling and they're screaming at people dying. They're stopping people from helping each other, from doing their jobs, and it's kind of sad. And so yeah, I'm gonna draw my trauma here. Just let it all out. But
Let it all out.
You mentioned something earlier, and it was this about cops and how they have to go out and they have to do this dance with their municipalities where they have to go make money for everybody and pull over people. I don't know if any of y'all have read On Killing by Dave Grossman. Have any of y'all read that?
No.
Incredible book. You need to read it. Actually, it's the book that sets up the theory of sheepdog, sheep, and wolves. And there are people that are sheep, and they are herd animals, and they're part of the ecosystem, and they need to be here. We live in a civilized world, a civilized society, because of sheep. Because they get together and they're cuddly and warm, and they take care of their babies, and they have fur, and they're sort of nice. And if you can make a wolf spider, really cool. And then there's a thing called wolves. And wolves are part of the ecosystem too. They're majestic and they're fierce and they got gnashing fangs and cool stuff. But they also like to eat the sheep. And you lose all your sheep, you don't have anything to keep yourself warm. And then there's a thing called the sheepdog. The sheepdog arises out of that wolf instinct. It arises out of what it took to take down a sheep, and it suddenly decides, I'm going to defend this thing that's necessary and natural. And the sheepdog arises, and the sheepdog defends the sheep from the wolves. We have to allow our law enforcement officers to be the sheepdog. We have to encourage that. When you're saying they have to defend and protect, we really do need to encourage that. They're not money makers. They're not there to enforce the will of a tyrant on a people. They are there to defend and protect. And when we let them do that, when we actually encourage that person to go and be exactly who they're called to be, they will defend and protect. But we've taken away a lot of that ability for our law enforcement officers to defend and protect, and we encourage them to do other things. We encourage them to get out there and to be the iron fist for a mayor, or we ask them to go out and put out a line against a group of people, and maybe they're protesting for the right things, and we say, oh, we've got to go down and crush this. And yes, law enforcement officers do have to defend laws. Sometimes they don't like. They have to do that because we live in a society where we have laws. But you need to defend and protect. And when we encourage that, when we encourage the sheepdog to arise, I think that our law enforcement personnel do so much better. They need to know that's what they're there to do, and we need to allow them to be themselves to do that. And if you can't, read Dave Grossman's On Killing. It is a wonderful story actually about people who kill for a living, people who defend, who hurt the bad things to make sure that the good things can live.
Yeah, they did that whole sheepdog analogy on, I think it was American Sniper.
Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Super genius. I like the sound of that. Wile E. Coyote. Super genius. So I take it you're back, huh?
I am back. How did you do?
I think I did fantastic.
I see my guest is gone. That's not a good sign.
No, he's here. He's here. Was here.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. What
there he is. He's back. He's having some trouble, I guess.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Well, I haven't figured out how to just turn on my avatar.
I'm going to stop streaming.
So.
Oh, that's easy. Go down to the bottom, and you'll see there's these 4 icons. The first one says turn on camera or turn off camera.
When I do
here's
what happens.
But you're up.
Yeah, you're fine. You're down the bottom.
Okay.
I'm fine.
We can still hear you. You're fine.
All right, good deal.
But all right. Hopefully you're all good. And whilst I was gone getting my coffee and feeding my dog, he's happy. He got himself a little bit of liver today. He's a happy pup. He's getting old though. I think he's got arthritis in the back legs because he has trouble with them. But oh well. Nevertheless,
just like his owner.
No, you know the good thing about it, Eric, you and I are about the same age. I'm 51 years old, 51 and a half. Can I say that at this age? Am I allowed to use halves? And I am in pretty good shape, and I'm healthy. I have no problems whatsoever. Knock wood. I can't complain, dude. 51, you'd expect you start getting some problems, so I'm happy about that. You know? How about you,
It's a good
My
Eric?
shoe.
I know.
Eric, are you all rickety now? With the rickets?
No, really. Only thing I have is diabetes. But I've been losing weight. On top of that, I'm probably way less than I have in the last 10 years.
That's cool.
My blood pressure's fine.
That's cool, man.
Going for my colonoscopy in 2 months.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I'm glad I've never had. I've had the throat one, and that sucks.
It does suck.
That
Yeah.
sucks enough.
Well, the diabetes is really an American disease, right?
I didn't know anyone with it.
Living over here where I am, I don't have access to that kind of stuff, right? So
You don't have access to diabetes.
no, I don't.
Sorry, it's just the way you said it. It was kind of funny.
Well, no, it comes. It really comes from
food we have. Yeah,
all the processed food, all the corn.
You have a lot of
syrup-based
sugar,
stuff,
don't
it's
you, in
the
America?
problem. Yep, lots of sugar. So
I mean,
whereas over here,
yeah,
most of the sweetening we would get would be from honey, not sugar.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of your sweets have like red or dicky beans and stuff like that in it as well. You know, you have a lot of really like healthy, nice stuff.
Yeah. So
Chester,
yeah,
I did try to tell my doctor last week. I have a friend in Japan that says they don't do colonoscopies over there. They have a scanner for it. And she goes, well, they're more advanced over there. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, no, they do. We don't do colonoscopies at all.
I know.
They use a scanner. Yeah, they don't put their finger up your butt at all, Eric. Sorry to disappoint.
Good luck, Eric. Good luck.
Hey, she's a very cute doctor. I'm not going to complain too much.
That
Chester, how do I hand this? How do I hand this back to you?
What do you mean?
The screen sharing.
You
Or
never
just
had
pick
it,
it up?
dude. I got it. You're all good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no problem.
I knew that. I did know that. I was testing. I was testing you.
That's good.
You passed. You passed,
you
by
did
the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. But no, I do agree. Of course, since we're talking about medical stuff here a little bit, I'm not a big fan of socialism. But if you're gonna do it, the Japanese way is the way to do. Because their socialism takes into account the idea that you have such a thing as the worthy poor, right? And it only socialistic things here in Japan only affect the poor. Everyone else is normal, capitalistic, democracy. So they do those things very well. But because of that system, everyone going and getting an annual checkup, and I mean a full blood panel, a full checkup, everything. Everybody in Japan does it every year. It's just kind of normal, right? And of course, for a normal person like myself, I pay 70% of the bill. And of course, doctors here don't charge as much anyway. So the whole system works pretty well. But because we do have that annual checkup where everyone does, you always know where your health is. Where in America, I don't know how consistent that is across the board.
I find it weird you have to pay for everything.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Here in Japan, you have to pay as well, but the system takes into account that, well, a doctor doesn't need 5 houses; he just needs 1. So they're not allowed to charge a lot of money.
See, that's good. I like that. That is good, definitely. I mean, obviously we have the NHS everywhere. We don't have to pay fuck all. I mean, most things are free. If it weren't, oh my god, I would hate to know what would happen.
Yeah, but Japan also takes into account the fact that why wouldn't you have the bleeding edge of medical care for your population?
Yeah,
Why
no,
wouldn't
definitely.
you? Right. So yeah,
Definitely.
I'm sorry, Eric. We have machines for that.
Try to tell him.
I'm gonna find out if we have machines for that. I'm gonna have to find out. My dad's in hospital. I'll go find out. He might know.
Anyway,
you never know.
Because in America, that's your 50-year-old birthday present.
Colonoscopy. In 10 years, is that what I'm having?
The other thing that a lot of people don't understand about the medical industry is that in a lot of other countries, a doctor really doesn't face as much liability as they do here in the States.
That's fair.
Okay.
And medical malpractice runs rampant here.
Wow.
See, I, in addition to having a grandfather who's a police chief, I also come from a family of doctors. So there's a lot of reasons why the American system is the way it
Oh,
is.
it's true. Americans are very litigious. That is true. Where you don't see lawsuits here.
I
hardly at
remember,
all. Yeah.
see, right, when I was younger, I always remember hearing about Americans just wanted to sue everybody about
Yeah,
everything.
they are litigious. Yeah, they are.
Well, guess,
that a real
yeah,
thing?
it's pretty true.
It is
That's
real.
pretty
Yeah.
true.
It's pretty true. Okay, that's kind of psychopathic and a little weird.
Well,
And-
you know, hey,
Well, it is weird, but it is very American
Court
culture.
TV.
And
I
you
blame
also
Court
take
TV.
well, that's fair, yeah. But you also have to take into account that as far as cost, America is the one that's footing the bill for medical research as well, all completely on
not
its
all of
shoulder
it.
only. That's
Not
an
in
issue.
Wuhan. Not in Wuhan. No.
I
Well,
mean,
well, we paid for that shit too.
COVID
That's the
bullshit
thing that
going
pisses
on?
you off the most about it. Goddamn Fauci.
I keep seeing all about your COVID stuff. That seems to be going all kinds of crazy at the minute over there. Are you still wearing masks and shit? Aren't you in some places?
Dude, the Japanese
Well-
takes them 2 seconds to want to wear a mask. Come on now.
The only place I have to wear a mask is the hospital, and that is it.
I never wear a
Nowhere
mask.
else.
I have no problem. The Japanese, the
Maybe
Asians
you wear a
wear
mask in the
masks.
hospital out of respect, but everywhere else, I do not give a shit. You know what I mean? But no one does. We don't have to anymore.
Yeah, no, we never had
Because I
panic
know
here.
America is still a big deal,
Right.
isn't it? No, we didn't either. Not really. I mean, not as much as it probably said so. I mean,
Well,
I might be wrong about America, but it seems like you're having a bit of an issue with it.
no.
In
It
Illinois, we
depends
still have to
on
wear
it
masks,
depends
still
on
mandated.
what sort
Yeah,
of
I mean,
state
Matt
you're in.
Costin's always on about it and how
That's true.
crazy it is, but then he's a bit of a conspiracy weirdo. So
Yeah, well,
Up
he
in-
might be
up
in
in Michigan.
California.
Up in Michigan, it is like it was before, almost like it was before. I mean, I wear a mask every now in certain places. I'll wear a mask,
Sure.
but nobody's freaking wearing a mask.
Well-
They do it. It's voluntary.
I mean, they told us we don't have to anymore. It's just hospitals. I
Yeah, a
mean,
long
you have
time
to be
ago.
careful in hospitals anyway, right?
Yeah, but I mean, if you guys, it's just highly politicized because you remember back during Obama's run, we had a little thing called H1N1, and no one talked about it. It was never on the news, and that thing killed more people than this one has.
Yep. I've mentioned stuff like that. It's like the same when we had swine flu or bird flu. You know, there's always something that's going on, but then everyone forgets about it because it ends.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Every single time.
And then the other thing that Japan also had to go through, at least the PAC rim had to go through, was SARS, which is, I mean, COVID is essentially SARS.
It is.
And
It's SARS
so-
too. It is. Yeah.
Yeah, and they've already had to take a bite of that bitter apple, so they were already somewhat prepared for it, and I would think, I'm not saying that they are, but I would think that they were already prepared for it,
Well, they are.
and they
Yeah, we
were
are.
already kind of conditioned to having to deal with it.
We're always prepared to deal with China's shit.
I'm gonna have to.
Right.
I'm gonna
Ever
have to
since
head
the
off.
war.
Yes. But
The
you
stream
know,
goes down in 5.
Yeah, yeah,
4.
Yeah, that's it.
but you know, it's funny thing you mentioned about SARS because that's at that time was when I actually moved completely here to Japan, almost 20
when they were
years ago.
having SARS.
And I had to like a month or a month and a half after I had moved here, I had to go back to the States a couple times because you know when I was in Hawaii, I worked for the government. And there was this big corruption scandal, and I had to go testify. And both times I went in to testify for that case, they sprayed everything down. They went kind of crazy because they were all worried about SARS. And of course, I didn't
Oh,
have
boy.
SARS, but they were really worried about it. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to head off, guys, because I didn't realize what time it is, and I have to go to a wedding.
Okay. Well, let me
It's
take
It's
a
like
look.
10:30 here. What are you
Let's
talking
take a look
about?
at your
Dude,
stuff,
it's just
real quick,
5
Spencer.
Just take your camera.
I don't know what you're on about.
Yeah.
I just-
Let me see your art again,
one-
Spencer. Share it again, please.
1 second.
Yeah.
Okay,
all right.
hang on a second.
It's the one with the button, isn't it?
Yes.
It sure was with a button in it.
Oh, dude, you got
Well,
robbed.
I
yesterday,
think she's
by the
wearing
way.
a thin
Like,
blue
Yeah,
line.
You
hang on.
cut
I
the
think she
voting
is,
off
yes.
so
Yes,
quick
she is.
yesterday.
Yeah.
It
And,
pissed me off.
Spencer, do us a favor and drop that into the Twitter
Sure.
#DNQFE, and I'll be
Okay.
able to show it very easily.
in the drawer along.
Chris, what do you think about this Latino police lady?
Oh, man, I need a background.
She can pull me
in
over
in
anytime.
Jeff Goldblum just
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Go, oh, dude, I would love to draw the fly.
That's great. That is so great. Looks great. Yeah,
we
should
do
style.
that.
I would love to draw that.
Yeah, no, he does. He's got a great style. Yeah.
It's fun.
It's really cool. Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Spencer. Go enjoy your wedding. Who are you marrying today?
Yeah.
One of my friends is getting married, so
I see.
Yeah.
Did
That's
you
cool,
warn
man.
them?
That's cool.
Did you
Weddings can
give
be
them
fun.
every opportunity
Did I-
to escape?
Get as pissed as humanly possible. That's what I
Yeah,
do.
and puke on the groom's shoes.
Oh God, yes. No.
I'll try not to do anything like that.
Fuck the groom.
Fair enough. All right, Spencer. Thank you very
draw
much for coming
this
in,
during
dude.
the bachelor party is
No worries.
bachelor party entertainment.
Cheers.
Later, dude.
Disappointed, really.
Oh, well.
I'm disappointed. 'Cause
Why?
I can't defeat him.
Well, you disappointed.
Because I can't defeat him now.
Sure you
Oh,
can.
the Australian
It's
competition's
finished. I'm going to
gone.
show it. It's got to be in the straw poll, which I need to create.
Yeah, he's gonna be in.
So let me get.
What time we got
that.
left?
You have yourself 30 minutes, sir. 30 minutes.
How
and
have we got so
yesterday
long
was-
left? I was like literally finished an hour ago.
So Jeff, while I come
Trying
over
to
here and
pretty
prepare
my
all this
picture.
stuff, if you could handle the room, please.
Okay, I'm going to screen share.
You keep
Hopefully, I
saying that.
won't boot anybody off.
Oh
I'm
my
going to
God,
screen
what did I
share.
just do?
You threaten me again. You're gonna have some problems.
That looks better. What did I do?
But you talking about me threatening you?
Are you
You
Why would I
threatened,
threaten you?
Booster Junior?
Yeah.
Mr.
Right.
Junior. I like it. Why does it keep going back to the fucking brush? Eraser! I'm getting pissed off. Oh, it keeps doing it! Alright, I'm exiting Photoshop.
I actually was part of the reason why
Oh, safety, yeah. Jesus.
he might Spencer Tunes might have not have gotten the number of votes that he did because
I didn't
I was the
vote
one who
for
set up the
him.
poll. No, but I
did
screwed
vote for him,
screwed up
but-
the poll. I screwed up the poll yesterday, and I didn't put his name on there. I completely forgot about him.
I mean, he was on
Like-
there. I saw it because he came second. But the thing was, Mike went, "Oh, I'm done. I've had enough. We'll just use."
Well, no,
what's
but
there."
the other thing
and then
is
people
that,
kept voting afterwards. I was like, "Dude,
oh really?
give it 5 minutes at least." I mean, we always do.
Yeah. Well,
I was like, because he could have. I mean, whether he won or not, Mike. I mean, Costin's picture was really good. It was because I mean he's been doing digital for the last few weeks, so it was nice to see him do traditional again and all.
Mhm.
And like I said, I didn't vote for Spencer's because it wasn't my favorite, but he wasn't a bad picture. I just felt bad. We need more pro slayers. How many
for him
players
twice?
do we have now? Armoron, me, Kinmer, and Eric. So we have four pro slayers. If we're not all pro slayers by the end of the year, there's something going wrong here.
Fair enough. Fair enough. See,
I hate being called a pro slayer when I'm a professional artist and all.
Aw. Now, Two Banana Mike, I've got everyone. I'm giving some kind of police, metaphor, adjective
to
here to
react
kind of
to
make them
that.
interesting.
Oh,
but I don't
boy.
know how to take Two Banana Mike and turn it into a cop slang.
Can't help you
Two-
on that one, dude.
Two Guns Banana Mike.
Yeah, there you go. That's nice and PC. You know, you don't have to be.
That's too long.
No.
Wasn't it?
I need to erase some of this.
Oh,
shit.
yeah,
Can
wow.
we erase it?
Two Banana Mike, Tennessee Vice. That's what I'll do. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
something
that
cool.
bitch is a dick.
Virginia Vice. Ooh, there we go. Okay.
So, anyways, this is where I'm at with it. Just loosely looking at the campaign that Mike has and making a go of it.
Looks
Oh,
good.
it looks good. It's actually on model, dude.
Trying.
Mine's, however, not on model, but I don't care.
Kicking ass.
And you're not
Anyway,
everybody's
sharing
kicking
again,
ass.
Rabbit. Just
Yes, because I just disconnected because nothing was working. You see my picture. You know what I'm doing. I'm doing some Japanese chick. Hang on. Let me get back to Discord.
Oh, I see what you're doing, Jeff. You're trying to. I see what you're doing, Jeff. That is smart.
What am I
See,
doing?
You're capturing screens on the second side of it, but the problem is you're capturing my screen. You have to capture it unto yourself, sir.
I did. Here, I'll do this. I'll stop streaming.
Okay.
that's the way. Just
Fixed. I
Oh.
fixed it.
Fixed it.
Let's see, Rabbit can be. Let's see, what was that? Chris, help me out. What was that old cop show? That comedy cop show was Car 52. What was it?
54.
Car 54.
54.
Or 54, where are you?
I just didn't know
I
what
liked
to draw, so I
Dragnet,
just said,
actually. Does anybody here
coppish
ever remember
character
that
with
show
a star on there. I
Dragnet?
mean,
Oh
it's
yeah, I
coppish,
do.
right?
Oh, yeah.
It was
Yeah, for
coppish.
sure. Yeah.
There was
I'm
a
not hearing
Mike
somebody again.
before we started the campaign for
Yeah, I'm
Thin
not either.
Blue
I'm gonna have to
Line. He
log out real
found
quick.
a
Come back in.
clip.
Yeah, it keeps being
It
a bit
wasn't
weird.
from Dragnet, but it was sort of that same era. And God, I wish I could.
Why is it not working?
I
My
can't really
shortcuts
play
aren't
it,
working either on my
but
fucking Photoshop.
I wish I could share it because it was basically.
So can we see my picture,
where we
Chester?
are
or not?
today.
No, Rabbit, and Chris is talking, and you're talking over him.
Well, see, I can't hear fuck all. All right, I'll be back again.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to pop up because I can't hear anybody, so I'll be back.
Go ahead. You can finish what you're saying.
There seems to be a lot of discord in this Discord.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
Has
I
that
don't know-
ever been said before? Is that not a new joke?
Well, we'll say no. But
It was all right last week.
The thing is, I've been using this for a long time, and I've never had a problem ever.
It was fine last
Oh,
week.
okay.
It's just
There's a movie from 1950 called The Asphalt Jungle.
Oh yeah.
I don't know here.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
There's a Commissioner Hardy who's played by an actor named John McIntyre. And in reference to one or two of the officers doing something they shouldn't, he says, it's not anything strange that there are corrupt officers in police departments, because the dirt they're trying to clean up is bound to rub off on some of them, but not all of them. That's what he says in the movie. So, I mean, police corruption obviously has been a problem, since police started. It's just going to be part of the job, right? Just like inept doctors. I mean, do you know how much money is spent every year paying for the mistakes of doctors in hospitals across the world? So, I mean, everybody is flawed, and that's it's even kind of troubling when artists on here tonight, who are all very talented and have different styles, are apologizing for their style. Oh my God, you guys are great! Everyone is so unique, and it's there. The takes are so interesting. Can't wait for Mike to watch this, and the penciler and inker Joseph and Jeff, just to kind of see these interesting reflections, interpretations, homages to this book that they've crafted. I mean, they're going to be blown away.
Does he pay attention to I know he's on Twitter. I've got him on Twitter from a while.
Mike does pay attention to Twitter. His Twitter
posts-
handle is Bloody Red Baron.
Yeah, I've got him on there because from last time we did a show with him. So if we all post it, he'll probably see it on Twitter, won't he?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
And
if he
the
posted
Thin Blue
pictures.
Line Comics is Thin Blue Line CMX. There wasn't enough space to write out comics.
Oh, I mean,
Oh, that's great.
Just
That's
because
something-
Twitter sucks. Yeah, that's cool. It'd be nice to show him all, because he couldn't make it.
He'll love it. Yeah, he'll love it. And his wife's out of town for a few days, so he'll be able to sit around and watch videos all day.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Sit around waiting for the ladies to leave. You can sit around and watch YouTube all day long and play Fallout.
All he does every day, Mike Barron writes every day. He goes to martial arts training a couple times a week, and he takes the dogs out 3 times a day. They've got 3 dogs.
Dude, really?
Yeah. Mike's kind of set in his ways. I know he would like to be back on this stream, but just not this late. There's no way.
Old guys set in their ways. Get out of here.
Come on.
No.
Come on, man.
That's cool. I mean, you're here, so it's all that matters. As long as someone's here promoting it, it's all
Hey,
good.
we're getting a signal boost the project, and that's all that matters.
That's true.
It's nice to hear all the stuff about it, isn't it, as well?
It is, and Jiminy's over there doing a great job by putting the links in the chat. Thank you very much, Jiminy. Of course, I don't know why Jiminy's not on here drawing, because not only is he an amazing professional artist, he's also probably the best dynamic artist I've ever seen. I miss Jiminy.
Yeah, I'm disappointed we're not getting more art in here. But there's so much good stuff.
There'll be some draw-alongs, I'm sure.
A few.
We have no shortage. It's an embarrassment of riches tonight.
Look at Twitter.
Yeah, but I don't know if you ever.
I'm done with my picture. I don't care.
I'm not going to dox him, give out his real name, but Jiminy is a professional artist. He usually works in corporate world doing that kind of stuff. But he's a great artist. But the thing with Jiminy is, I've never seen anyone take a 2D picture and put more motion in it. I feel he does that better than even Kirby did. I mean,
Wow.
it's
Wow.
yeah, I know it's insane. He's really busy. He's got a couple comics he's drawing right now, so I know he's got stuff to do. But I'd love to see him in the chat, but I'd love to see him in here drawing because I absolutely adore his stuff.
It would be
I
nice.
could
tearing
pro-
up the chat.
I
for
could
sure.
I could
He's tearing
probably
up
I
the
could
chat.
probably peer pressure Jiminy into showing up.
Yeah, we all need to peer pressure everybody to show.
Yeah. Well, the great thing about this show here, though, is the fact that we're doing it for 2.5 years or something like that, and the Discord is full of 100+ artists, and there's just some stunning artists in there. And I know a lot of them work in like the trading card world and corporate and things like that, and that's great. I'm happy they're getting money for what they love. But a lot of those dudes, should be making money in comic books.
I make no money on art. It sucks.
Yeah, it's and you're a great artist. Your portrait art is amazing, right? I mean, just take a look at it here. And there's a lot of that, and the thing it's irritating because we've been talking all day about the politics that have kind of invaded American comic books and everything else for that matter. But the saddest point of it isn't that they want to tell political stories. It's that they're hiring people who are not qualified to do the job, whether they be writers
That's
or artists,
true.
right?
Yeah.
And we just here, my point being, there are at least a couple dozen artists that we've had on this show that deserve to be working at Marvel or DC, without question.
Well, at least they're by far better than most of what we're seeing coming out of there, for sure.
Oh, they are way better, dude.
Way better.
And I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad they got more money, making money doing what they're doing. But they just should be making comics, man. I mean, that's what they want to do, but they can't. And it's unfortunate.
It's hard to make a living at comics anymore these days too. It's becoming such a niche industry that I encourage creators to do their own thing and don't worry about DC or Marvel.
Yeah, no, I hope the anything gets bigger and bigger. But we had a conversation with several conversations with RT Bear, and Art, I think made a very great point. I think I've heard Mike and Ethan and other people make this comment as well. But I think Art illuminated the best. And what he said was, these days the big companies don't want superstars working for them. They don't want people who have big names. They want people they can control and pay a little amount of money. That's one of the saddest things I've ever heard in regards to comic books, dude. Why wouldn't you want it? I mean, come on.
It's just business. It's a business transaction for them now.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
It's a shame.
But yet they'll bring over someone they consider to be a named person, like say Mike Bendis into DC, and Art, of course, was doing Super Sons at that time, right? A very popular book. People loved it. It was selling like hotcakes, and they
miss
can't. Yeah, we miss it. We do miss it, and that was a great book Art was working on. And what does Mike Bendis do? No, shut it down, because I want to cuck out Superman. I mean, what the hell? I want to turn his son into.
I think he's destroyed everything he's touched at DC. Everything that he's done, even the Superman title that he did with, no disrespect, but I can't stand John Romita Jr.'s artwork style. I haven't liked it since he left the X-Men years ago, and everything he's done over there, the Legion, it's all been awful.
Yep,
it's awful.
It is. And I understand that Bendis is stuck in that the old thinking. We were talking earlier about the British invasion with Grant Morrison and them. But he wants to be like them, because a lot of those guys, like Garth Ennis is a good example. They don't like superheroes. They don't like superheroes in tights. They don't like it, right? But yet they were able to tell really cool stories, plus putting the layer of their politic they wanted on it. And Bendis wants to emulate that. It's clear. But he's not skilled enough to do it, obviously.
I think you're right. I think he's past his prime. I mean, but one thing Bendis he's got these tricks, like I think they all do. And one thing Bendis does or did a lot would be to put some sort of interesting, or maybe a trope now of changing characters, established characters. I mean, he did it with Iceman. He did it with Well, he did it with Spider-Man. I mean, he does the same thing. He just makes some big change to an established character, and then that's supposed to be edgy or nuanced or new, and it's really not. It's just the sort of a same old one-trick pony, and that's kind of what he did at DC with with a little less angle, I guess. I know people who loved Legion and were so excited it was coming back, and just hate what Bendis has done.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And the thing with just an example with Iceman, for instance, you have this character that's well established, and instead of trying to establish a reason why he would become homosexual, which you can do, but instead of doing that, you actually take Jean Grey and have her mentally alter him into gay. So not only are you bastardizing Iceman, you're also degrading Jean Grey. At the same time, this is their logic.
It's like conversion therapy. It's a backwards conversion therapy. It's the weirdest thing.
Hey, isn't that the thing that everyone has a go at? Like saying turning gays to straight. Isn't that like the opposite thing?
Yeah, but it's not the best way to do it, though, Rabbit. Because you could have done that if you really want to make Bobby gay. Fine, give us a story and let us find out how that happens.
Let's have fucking gay characters. I just don't understand.
I agree, especially with a character that's so well established. But I'm just saying you can do it correctly. Is my point. But that's not how you do it. Right. Because that in and of itself is kind of antithesis to what these people seemingly say. Because you're forcing someone to do something, and they keep telling us you can't force us to do anything. We're born this way, or we have a right to be this way, or whatever, which is fine. But then you're going to take the same logic that you just yelled and screamed about and apply it to a fictional character? Really?
Oh yeah,
but that doesn't count. That just doesn't count. I think part of the problem is that the
so much
comic...
of it.
Oh, go ahead. Go on. No,
so much of it's just lazy. You don't have any development. You don't have a real connection. And this is one of the problems. They don't actually have a connection to the character. You said it right. They hate these people. They hate these characters. They don't love these characters. They don't love these characters as human beings. These canons that we have of these people are developed out of years, decades. It's like having a grandfather in your house. You know these people. We've known them for decades.
Yeah.
Suddenly you go over and they're just different. This doesn't make sense. Why does it happen? There's a story behind it usually. I know that everybody in this room right now has turned around and suddenly you saw your loved one or a friend and they were like completely different. And you ask them, what happened? What's wrong? What's going on with you? And they won't tell you at first. And then you find out that this traumatic, horrible event has happened. There's something that they took place, something that they finally dealt with, or there's an addiction, or there's something out there that's changed the way that they interact with the world. That's part of life. You could write this into a story. Oh my gosh, if you're going to make, Bobby Ye, then talk about what happened.
Yeah.
What went on? What is that break in the soul where you go, I'm getting rid of this. I don't know if that's any of y'all, but have y'all ever been through a divorce? Have y'all ever done that? Anybody here? Whoop, anybody? Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me call you
Try
guys.
not to.
If you haven't been there. You turn around and suddenly there's a point where everything snaps.
Yeah.
Where you realize, it's over, son. This happens to humans. You can write this into a story. You could make this incredible, compelling case that this person has actually changed everything about themselves because of this thing that they didn't talk about, or this thing that happened to them that's created this crushing disappointment that has changed their complete outlook on life. If you're gonna make Superman hate America, tell us why.
Yeah.
Don't just make up part of it.
You could do a cool story with that. Yeah.
Twitter told them
I think the problem
it's not even that. It's like the company lost the trademark or didn't renew the trademark, but that doesn't sell comics. That doesn't help the woke mob that hates America. So you get with your marketing department. You say, what can we do to explain why he's not going to say truth, justice, in the American way anymore? Oh, I've got it. Let's make him more global. It's for a better world. But the fact of the matter is that's a trademarked line.
Yeah.
And that's how cynical the companies have bastardized their products.
That's
it's
true.
a product now. It's not a character.
Well,
It's
it's
not a
not-
legacy. It's not a mythos
I
anymore.
wonder though, because
It's
like,
not-
all
it's-
the animated stuff that I don't know if you watched the Injustice one, whether you liked it or not, but they still had all the same original style like Superman in it and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
the
Yes.
DC animated universe and stuff. So that's not really changed.
It was an
much. So I
Elseworld
have to
story.
wonder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it
And-
seems to only be happening in the comics, is what I'm saying, not like the rest of the.
Oh no,
universe.
it's happening
I
in
mean,
board games,
I know the
video
comics is
games,
a big
everything.
deal, but-
It's happening in everything. But Rosa,
I
just
mean-
to kind of respond to your divorce thing, I'm a professor, therefore I don't make rash decisions, and I married a Japanese lady, so I solved it.
You made a rash decision.
Solved it all.
You bought a fucking boat.
I think another
You
thing
guys,
that
you guys hate my yacht. What is that all about? They do.
I
Chris,
think
help me out here, dude. I got a little 64-foot swan, and they can't stand it, dude.
I
Holy
think it's
cow.
awesome. It's envy. That's envy. Man, I'm noticing on Twitter the DNQFE hashtag.
Yeah.
There's artists out there that aren't participating that are even having fun. That's cool.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
some
way
of
we
them
like
have
that.
been on,
Yeah.
some of them haven't. I've been trying to get them all on. I've managed to
They're all
like bully
great.
most of them on.
Everybody's great. It's so fun to see all these different artists and the different art styles. It's awesome.
It
is
is.
awesome.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of like Blue Moon Cartoon. He's been on here once, but he has issues with his like sharing screen, and he was just like the Ren and Stimpy style art, which is so unique
Yeah.
to everybody
Blue
else.
Moon's awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
You
I
know,
was noticing some of the Morbius stuff too from a week or so ago. Man,
Oh yeah,
great,
that was
great
neat.
artists.
Yeah.
Oh, there was so much stuff on there that was so cool. They had that animated one from Blue Moon was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Loved it. Loved all the
Yeah.
little sparkles and everything.
Yeah.
I
No, Blue
hate
Moon is
my
cool.
picture.
Yeah, he got that Tex Avery thing going down, man. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hall
but,
Comics.
I want him back on, man. We need to get him
So
back
will there
on.
be like a poll or something that runs for a while on the artwork that's been done tonight?
We are going to
Well,
run a
the
poll
people
for about
that are
5
on the
minutes.
show will have a poll.
Yeah.
And then
the-
we'll all
Oh, okay.
watch.
Yeah.
Everyone that's drawn along will look at theirs as well.
the
We'll all go like, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool,
Yeah.
kind of
the,
thing.
the premise of the show is this. On Wednesday nights, Mike S. Miller has a pro edition of this show. And nearly 3 years ago, we wanted to create a fan edition so that we could funnel amateur or semi-pro people into Mike's show, give them an opportunity to meet some of the other pros and do that kind of stuff. That was the inception of this show. And we're still doing that. So we'll have a winner tonight, and they will go over to Mike's show and be able to draw on that. I think it's
Farm
pretty cool.
team.
The what?
The farm
It's the
team.
farm team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is the
it's a
farm team. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. That's
yeah.
fun.
It
I
is.
feel like
This
we're
is
more
where I
serious
belong.
though now.
These are my people here. I like this best.
Yeah. Well,
Mike don't
Fair.
take his show seriously
he's
anymore.
way too serious. Yeah, he needs to lighten up. But that's okay. I love you, Mike.
Oh, I'm so gonna
He's from
knock you out.
Hawaii. What do you expect?
Mike don't take it serious anymore. Have you not watched the show? I've been on it loads
No.
recently, and he's like, he's fancy.
He's too busy tracking his blockchain.
It's all about the
He is.
NFTs, yeah. It's
He's
all about
all
his
on the
monkey
NFTs
house
now.
stuff.
And
It's very good information and all.
Oh, yeah,
He's very,
yeah.
very sharing with everything. So.
Yes, he
That's
is. He's doing a lot to support a lot of artists to help
He
them,
has.
Yeah,
make
he's
money.
helped me a lot as well. Yeah, with
Yeah.
stuff. So,
So-
he's
Mike's
a
good
cool
people.
guy.
He
What
just did a
not to
great
do when we try to
article
launch
at
it.
Bleeding Full about NFTs. So
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
cool.
He knows everything about them.
That's good.
he
But
seems
it-
to. I'm still lost. It's like a
Yeah,
waffle
it's
iron.
confusing as fuck.
I don't
I'm
know
not,
what
I'm
they
not,
are.
Yeah. You know, another
Sounds
person.
like
But
something I would never own.
But it doesn't stop us from trashing them.
That's
That's
true.
No, of course not.
But you know, the thing about that is interesting. We another person who doesn't get enough credit, I think, we haven't spoken to quite a while over here, is John Malin. John Malin has done a lot to help indie creators.
Yeah, he really has.
Well, that's
Yeah, he
because
has.
they fell out, though, wasn't it? With Mike and all
Yeah,
that lot,
I
they all
understand
fell
that,
out. That's the
but-
only reason why. I mean, I have a print from John Malin in my room. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I guess comics.
He's a
Right
good
now.
artist.
John Malin was doing what everyone else wasn't doing. He was encouraging all his fans to vote for him, and that's why he was winning.
He
Oh,
was
yeah.
fucking
Constantly,
hilarious.
week after
He
week.
was just funny with it. That was the thing. He was just funny with it.
Yeah. Well, Mike has given up on that because in the beginning, when I would send fans over, because these are supposed to be the farm team, as
He
we
got
said.
pissed off because
And
we kept beating him.
yeah, because you kept beating him. And I actually got some pretty spicy emails, let me say. But he's
Oh, that
chilled
was
out
my
on
fault
that,
in the
so,
beginning.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. He,
Yeah, Eric's
especially
the one that
Eric.
went
He
over
hates
and
you,
really
Eric.
ruined it, right?
Well, my first time over there, I whipped his ass, so he got a little upset.
Wow.
He got a little
Yeah,
bent
see,
out of
that's the
shape,
thing,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I didn't beat him the first time I went over, but I have won 3 times in since then. So,
And then
you
there's
kicked his ass, right?
then there was the one time Booster beat him.
Yeah, well, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
to be fair, I'd be pissed off if Booster beat me.
Well, actually, Booster beat everybody, but
That's
he's,
true.
he's
But
got. I
it
think
is
he's gotten
Booster.
hip to the idea that it's.
Yeah.
I think he's gotten hip to the idea that's the ironic joke that it's his show, and he's a great artist. Don't get me wrong.
Oh,
Mike
God, yeah.
kills it.
It's his.
amazing.
It's his show, and he never wins.
Yeah, it's
He
his
wins
has
sometimes.
kind of
He
thing.
has
Well,
won, like,
the
what,
one-
twice?
The ones that bug me are people like Dalton and Weldon, who we sent over there. Of course, Weldon's freaking fantastic artist, and we never see him again.
No one sees
Oh,
Weldon
wow.
anymore, though, to be
What
fair.
are you doing, man?
Yeah, no
Weldon
one
has
does.
Where's the
literally
love?
disappeared.
They are busy, to be
Siege,
fair.
Right, I tell you what, though, like, Siege came on our show when you weren't here.
Of course, yeah. Siege doesn't like me. That's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, not every can't
Yeah,
can't,
that's-
can't love everybody.
You
man.
just got to be nice to her, Chester. You just got to
That's
be
it,
nice
yeah,
to
just
her.
be nice.
I am the nicest fucking human you ever met, Jeff.
I'm sure you are. I believe you, Chester.
My
Some people
students
just
love
gotta
me,
take
Jeff.
Shit, I think. We love this.
They do love me, man. I really do love you. And I don't think it's real.
You know what? All the stupid shit.
Meetings will stop when morale improves.
Yes.
Fair enough.
So on.
Fair enough. But
Oh,
guys,
right.
we got about
Who
5
runs
minutes
the
left.
Twitter,
Oh yeah, I
who runs
finished
the
hours
Twitter
ago.
account for Drawn and Quartered Ultimate?
Pixel, I guess.
It's
Pixel? Okay.
This is Pixel Trader
Uh,
show, so yeah, I imagine he does.
the
But
Drawn and Quartered show is at DNQFE. That's the
Yeah,
Twitter.
I'm pretty
for
sure
it.
it's Pixel.
That's the
He's-
hash.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, that's what I
hashtag
thought.
is the the hashtag's the draw along. So if you tag it, you can find the pictures here easy. But the actual YouTube is at.
Have
It
you
is,
ever?
yeah,
Has
it's
Pixel ever done an article for you, Chris?
I mean, I
No.
seem to do everything.
You
I
know,
don't think so, unless it was under a different name.
yeah,
And
because
I'm not asking him to be doxxed, but we've communicated off and on now for about 4 years.
Well,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean-
Pixel is really, really, really tucked into the digital and computer type stuff when in regards to comic books. I bet you he's got some interesting things to say. You know.
Well, I think you're probably right. Is Pixel not the one who created Indicron?
He
That's
is.
him.
That is the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think probably the last time we talked about Indicron, just the specifics of it all, was when I think he kind of took it over. I think he was working. He was thinking about what's his name? Also from Hawaii, Edwin. At the
Edwin,
time
yeah.
before Edwin kind of flaked.
Edwin Boyette.
Yeah. That was probably the last time we got down into sort of the nitty gritty about Indicron. But I think it's incredible what he does. It really just doesn't get enough attention.
No, that's true.
I don't think, you know.
He's
But
too busy.
I also
think.
wonder how much bandwidth he's got to deal with it. I
Well,
think he's pretty busy with a lot of other things.
He's
too.
very busy. He made
Yeah.
he made me a mod to do it. So I've been running the
Oh, okay.
DNQFE. Like I've been picking the topics and doing the shows and stuff. So I asked him if he had anything good because that's when he said he had you guys wanting to do the show.
Yeah, well, and he's
cool.
got a
And
new
he
baby in
sorted
the
you
house,
guys
too.
out because I don't know
That's
anybody.
what. Yeah,
so-
that's right. That's right.
Yeah. But
Well, it's just life. Life gets in the way, you know. But
It's
he's
true.
definitely a friend of indie comics.
Oh yeah. he's-
oh, he
yeah,
is. He's
definitely.
awesome. But I think the whole Indicron thing, it was a timing issue, because at that time, you had all this indie stuff. It was exploding. Everyone was excited and wanted to be part of it. And you had these, big time names, whether they wanted to be in charge or not, they kind of were in a leading role, right? And I'm speaking about Ethan Van Sciver. And they got themselves into a little pissing match over bullshit. And they caused a lot of waves and a lot of trouble, and Pixel got caught up in that. And it wasn't nothing he said or did. It was just that when they were kind of picking sides and doing all that kind of nonsense, because it's really unfortunate. Those guys like Ethan and John Malin and Engeltine and all those guys, they should have been on that Anycron every damn show they did, and they know they should have.
I don't understand why,
but because they were being stupid. That's why.
Yeah, it's all stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna. I love what
it's
Ethan
ego.
does,
It's
but
to do
I'm not
with
gonna mince
ego.
words with it.
It is ego.
It is ego.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can do a piece over at Bleeding Fool about it and kind of give it another boost. I'll ask him directly here on Twitter and just see if he's even interested in that. It almost feels like a secondary or something a little lower on his priorities these days, though. So maybe timing is the issue.
Maybe. Yeah, I think timing's been an issue for him all along, unfortunately, because Pixel is an absolute friend of Indie Comics. He's done a lot to help it. This show here wouldn't exist without him training me how to use a damn computer, right?
I love that.
No, seriously.
True.
I mean, I can
Is
do
that
all
really?
these things now because Pixel taught me how, right?
Oh, God forbid anything changes then.
Just
Learn how to
use
turn it
email.
on.
It was bad.
Log in.
Yeah.
Yeah, restart your computer.
Well, I mean, no,
What's
it's all
My
of this
picture always
software. I
looks
use
so
a lot of
blurry
software
on
here.
YouTube. It pisses me off.
Yeah. But
Sorry.
anyway, guys,
I get
we are
angry.
coming to the end of the show here. Just another reminder. Hopefully you have been drawing along. Go over to the Twitter at #DNQFE. You can also drop it on our Discord. Jiminy, if you would drop the link for the Discord again, that would appreciate it. Also, let me go through here and just kind of catch the art real quick. Well, I'm going to end it, and then we'll catch the art.
Hey, you hold on.
You want me to hold on?
You're good.
Okay.
He's still trying to figure out his red wiggly lines.
He's working on his red wiggly lines.
That's
Don't
what
just
he's
disrespect
doing.
the artistic
He's like, do I do an
impressions.
American flag? Do I do really weird lines? He doesn't know
All right,
what
guys.
he's doing.
We're going to end it right here. So everyone stop drawing. We're going to take a look at the art. We do appreciate all the artists coming on here. Give us your time and the amazing art you do produce. It's awesome. We also appreciate all you guys who are here with us live and all the people who come back and listen later. I'm always quite amazed by that because this is a 2.5-hour show, but we'll get 3 times as many live people come back and watch the show as a recorded video.
I
and
do.
that's pretty cool.
I always watch live art. If I see something posted, I'll come and watch it because I'm an artist.
I do
like
too.
to see it.
But a lot of people come back and watch the show after the fact, and we appreciate
that's what we
you
want.
immensely. Thank you very much. So let me go ahead and take a look at the art here, and then I'll throw the straw poll up. So let's start up the top with.
Make sure you include everybody. I'm sorry, but
I will.
we've got new
I
people in
appreciate
here.
me too.
Yeah.
Also, remember
Jeff, you are
Spencer.
appreciable.
I am. I really am. I'm a swell guy.
Yes,
God, I love
that was
me.
a joke, Jeff. I'll give you a moment to think about it. Just kind of soak that
It's
in.
been quite
That-
quiet
but,
tonight,
That
to
was
be fair.
that was hurtful.
Thank you.
You've been quite quiet,
Thank
Jeff,
you.
tonight.
He has, but it's okay. This has been kind of an overwhelming show, actually, trying to manage. However, we're starting out here with Amaran, our bestest Australian friend. How you doing?
Oh, dude, I think he watched
All
JoJo's
right.
Bizarre Adventure. That's what it
I think
reminds
he
me
did.
of.
Yes, he did. So, Chris, you're here from Thin Blue Line, of course, and of course, Jiminy or Immortal V will throw those links up again. But yes, it's kind of your responsibility, sir, seeing as you're here to critique the art. So we're starting
wow.
with
Oh, no.
Amaran. So go ahead and give him hell, man.
Thank
Well,
God
I
it's
don't
not
know
me.
if that is technically a police uniform. I think the hair might be a little long, but I gotta say, man, this picture's dynamite. Nice
Thanks.
boob shine there. She's glistening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This really
It's
looks.
sparkling.
This is great. I mean,
It
I
does.
can't believe you whipped this out so fast.
Yeah,
Yes.
try to keep kind of control the whipping out words there. You know, it's not
Whipping
It's perfect
out.
over
Look, both my hands are right here. I swear. So.
You don't want to know where her taser is.
But of course, Amran always draws sexy
taser.
stuff.
Yeah, no, that looks great. That's great. That looks fun.
Thanks.
Looks like some Golgo 13 villain or something.
It does.
Oh, dude, Golgo 13.
There you
That
go.
is a good take.
That's
I
a
love that.
great adult manga right there. If you
Yeah,
haven't read
man,
that, go check
Golgo
that
13.
out.
Man.
But
What a good
Amran,
take.
thank you very much. It's awesome. If you guys like what Amran has done, please vote for him in the straw poll. Let's continue down here. We have Mr. Eric Hawkins. How you doing,
Hello?
sir? You got
He's
your
very
little
wiggly
Japanese
lines, right?
war flag in there. That's awesome.
It's the stars and stripes without the stars.
Oh,
It is the stars and stripes without the stars. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair
You
enough.
could
Yeah,
tuck those in
Chester.
the upper left.
I mean, isn't red
And
and
this
white
looks good.
Japanese?
This actually looks a lot closer to what you might expect for standard issue uniform. So this looks legit. This looks legit. I've been enjoying.
I used
this.
some reference.
Okay, well, well, of course you did, right?
It's really good, dude.
It
looks
actually
great.
looks like your
Looks
character.
great.
So
Yeah, she's
Yes,
kind of
yeah,
got a
it
little
is.
poutier lips there, but I like it. No, it's nice. This looks great.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
yeah. Yeah, it does look good. And thank you very much, Eric. You always do cool stuff. If you guys like what Eric has done, vote for him in the straw poll. All right, let's move
Vote for
down
Eric.
here to a rabbit. One doomed rabbit. He's got himself a
If I
little
count.
Asian cop. She looks like she's a colonel, or maybe she's a general. But I didn't know cops had those rankings.
That is a big star. Yeah,
Yeah,
boy,
it's pretty big.
she looks great. She looks tough. I like this approach too. This is a nice portrait.
Yeah.
The others were very sexy and stylish, but this is interesting. And I've kind of felt like One Doomed Rabbit was getting short shrift through this because I kept going back and looking at it here in Discord, but I didn't see much comment about it. So I'm glad we're showing it off. It looks good. Nice shine on the badge. It's good. It's great. She's
Oh, it
pretty.
is.
It's sharp.
And he's a bit drunk tonight. I can tell.
I'm not a bit drunk.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he is
A bit?
a little bit. This is pretty good. I've seen him do 10 times better than this, though.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Not bad.
You do come
It's-
here
it's-
for the critique.
his Morbius was outstanding.
Oh,
I
Jesus.
saw that. That was
Yeah.
I like my
outstanding
Freddy the
Morbius,
best,
by the
so.
way.
Oh, your
It
Freddy
great.
was spot on, dude. Yeah.
I've not
But
shared that yet 'cause I'm
she's
working on it.
cute. She's cute. And I've actually seen cops like this, and they're a bit saucy.
Yep.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, I
then.
bet she could put you on your back real easy.
Oh yeah, I just ask anytime.
Okay.
Fair enough. But if
Nice
you
job. Looks
I'm
good.
so gonna narc you out to your wife.
oh no,
Watch last
good.
night's stream.
Yeah. But thank you very much, Rabbit. If you guys like what he's done, please vote for him in the straw poll. Let's come down here, Rosa, and let's see what she's drawn for us. So if
Oh
you
my
can hold that up.
Since I don't,
Rosa.
tell me when it's in like frame here.
Come a little bit forward.
It's probably not showing up that great.
A little bit more forward, I'd say.
A little more. forward.
Yeah,
Here we
yeah.
There you go.
go. Okay, good.
All right. Well, we have yeah, it's very
Focus.
pixelated.
Focus.
Keep it holding
No,
steady.
no,
Don't
you,
move.
you just get it picked.
Oh.
Yeah, I got
nice
terrible
before.
bandwidth issue. I actually am working off a hotspot, y'all. I'm like mobile.
Oh, you
Keep
poor
it a bit
thing.
closer. I think you'll be all right.
Okay, I can
think
see
it
it
looks
better.
good.
There we
No,
go.
this
There we
looks
go. No,
good.
don't move it. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
we
that
did.
looks great. Look
Give
at
it a
that.
minute.
Yeah, there
Hold
it
what
is.
you got. Hold what you got. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
nice. Wow. This is bloody. This is gritty.
It is. Is that Wilma?
I have no idea. I just drew it. I didn't know.
Like
yeah,
Wilma?
I
wow,
just
that's
made up
incredible.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
This is
Well,
good.
thank you
Yeah,
very much,
nice.
Rosa. It came in, by the way. We can see it. So if you guys
Oh,
like what
good.
Rosa has done, vote for her straw poll. I did put her in there, so go vote for her if you like. Yeah, absolutely. Let's keep moving down.
Vote
we
for
have
that hair. Vote for Rosa's hair.
Yeah, there you
Gosh.
go. Oh, the hair is awesome. Yeah. Let's take a look at Two Banana Mike here. Hi, Mike. How you doing?
That looks good. Yeah, wow.
Yeah. You've been real
You got
quiet,
the
Mike.
little walkie-talkie action there. That's
Well,
sharp. That's
Every
good.
time I wanted to talk, Chester, everyone talks over each other. So I just shut my mouth and let you guys talk.
Wait, no, Mike, you got to be a man.
Oh, you mean interrupt everybody?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Assert yourself.
Yeah.
Mike,
If
that's
I
great. It
said
looks
what I wanted
great.
to say tonight, your channel would have been struck.
Aw.
And what I mean by that, Chester, is I know a lot of law enforcement, so what's been going on really pisses me off.
Yeah.
And the destruction, till mom and dad straighten out the home, you're never going to see the streets get fixed. I don't care.
Yeah, no, we all agree with you, dude. What's going on right now is nonsense, and it's not happening everywhere. It's just in certain areas. Most places are very normal, but those places are the ones getting all the attention that are on the news all the time. You're absolutely right. We have to. Not saying we can't always try to be and improve our police departments, but that also doesn't mean we should be disrespectful. It's a dangerous job, and they're serving the public, and that's an important thing. I agree 100%. But if you guys like what Two Banana Mike has done, then vote for him in that straw poll. All right, let me see. Did I get all the ones that are here? Yes, I did. Let me go over and bring up Spencer Tunes real quick. Where did I put him? Where did I put that? Hold on a second.
Jail.
Oh, here it is. So let me bring this over and bring
Are
this
you
up.
sharing your screen?
I am. So this is from Spencer Tunes here. Let me blow that up full screen so we can see it. All right,
we can't see it.
But no, you guys can't. But I'm going to share here in a minute, and I'll show it again. But the voters can see. And of course, this is from Spencer. It's absolutely awesome. It's he's got a great style, and he went a little bit over the top with it, but. He's got a great style.
I was being extra tame with mine. Jeez.
Yeah, I know. I was surprised. I was expecting
you were being tame. What? Because she wasn't standing sideways, and we needed another frame.
Well, she wasn't naked enough, I think, for a Hummer.
I think she's wearing a thin blue line. I'm going to use that joke again.
Yeah,
she is. But
Amaron, it looks like Amaron's done a second one on the fly.
Yeah,
really quick. Is that
this
right?
This is something I've done before. Just one of my own characters.
Oh, it doesn't count.
Pre-show, gotcha.
Yeah, pre-show.
Yeah.
But if you like what Spencer's done, please vote for him in the straw poll. All right. Speaking of that, let me get over here and put that up so you guys can have a shot at it. Where's my thing here? I need to go back over to here. Oh, there it is.
You lost your thing?
No, I found it. It's okay. It didn't get far. It didn't get far. But nevertheless, let me go ahead and drop that straw poll for you guys. So Jeff, how are you enjoying your new position, sir?
I've been enjoying it pretty well. There's a reason why I've been silent, because you had a guest on and he'd promote his book, and I didn't want to interrupt any of that.
See, that's why if you were
respectful,
that'd be very different.
We're respectful.
Yes, and thank you for that, sir. So here we go, guys.
That changes next time.
It changes next time, so we're going to be rude the whole time. That's perfect.
Dude, next week's Ghostbusters Afterlife, because that's when it comes out.
That's right.
Oh, I thought we were doing Fly.
Next week. No, I think we're doing Ghostbusters.
No. You got to do Ghostbusters when it comes out, right?
Yeah.
Well, that would be perfect for Jiminy. Jiminy really needs to come on here.
Yeah, he does.
Not that I'm pressuring him or anything.
Although I really want to
the hell
paint
out
Bill
of him,
Murray.
I wish he'd come back on.
That's all I want to do. I just want to paint Bill Murray.
But anyway, there you go, guys. There's your straw poll. Please get in there and vote for it. We're going to let it go a little while.
I don't understand the names. Sorry. I know I'm drunk, but I don't understand. What the fuck does that even mean?
Sir, are you complaining? Sir? Sir?
What is Car 54?
Just because you're a child, all right?
Car 54 was a series in, I think, the 50s. It's a TV series in the 50s.
And I'm a moron, apparently. I'm a moron.
Yes, what the fuck?
Jeez.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen so these guys can take a look. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to show off our draw along. We got a few today, not so many.
Have you checked the Discord though, dude?
We do appreciate it.
You have to remember we have two places to look for it.
We do. And I'll take a look at the Discord in a second. But all right, let me come down here to the bottom. We got a few in here. All
Okay.
right, all right. So there we got the advertisement for it. We got one here from Alan. This is interesting. Alan usually does a very, very different style. He's got this kind of cartoony style, similar to Spencer Toons. That's absolutely fantastic. But this is a straight up piece of art. That's interesting. Huh. And he
Nice.
he used to be a regular on our show. He's not now because he's working nights now. So unfortunately, he can't be here regularly. But at least we can see that he's working hard and taking time and drawing for us on Drawing Long. That's awesome. Can you see it,
Nice.
Chris? What do you think?
Spectacular. I mean, it's all been great tonight, though.
Mm. Yeah, this is a good piece. It is so different from what Alan does normally, though. Howl Comics, sorry. But
Actually, that's the one I saw it on Twitter first, and I thought it was cool. It's hand drawn. It looks like he just grabbed a fat pencil and went to town. It looks great.
yeah, that's true.
Looks
Yeah,
great.
it does
Yeah.
look good, and it's right on model too. Looks really nice.
It really
right.
is. I mean, we retweeted that actually. I think.
Oh, sweet. You should. Yeah, it's very good, Alan.
Yeah.
Thank you. We have Blue Moon. you got a little bit of lazy tonight, Blue Moon. What are you doing? Police line, do not cross. Extra chief to protect. Oh goodness gracious! I wonder, did he pull this off of the internet or did he draw that? It could be either, actually.
I think he probably drew it.
Yeah, he probably did. It's hard to tell because when he chooses to be on model, he is on
No. Yeah, that looks like a drawing.
Well, that's
not
Officer
original.
Valeria right there on the left with the donut, isn't it?
It
It's
is,
pretty on
yeah.
model.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, but
I'm not
there's
sure
the Simpsons reference there.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got it.
Yeah,
Spot on.
Yeah, let's see it
Simpson,
now.
I think it's time for you to leave.
I can see it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But we got a few people over here that when they choose to be on model, it's ridiculous, right? Gary Shipman is, I would probably say, is the best I've seen on that. When it comes to being on model for whatever you choose it, he's going to make it, and you're going to think some other guy did it, right? The original, whoever. Gary Shipman's amazing at that. I think Blue Moon is too. So thank you very much, Blue Moon. That's awesome, dude. Very, very, very cool. We got hey, Jason. Eric, we've been kind of talking about this and seeing Jason's art. He's really getting good, dude.
Oh, he levels up with everything he does. Yeah,
he does. Yeah,
But he should be on the next one
more often.
He should be on the next one.
Well, we've
Peer
had
pressure.
Jason in here before.
Yeah, we have.
Peer pressure works.
Yes.
He does.
Peer
You get him,
pressure
Jeff.
works.
Come on, Jason. You want to come on?
Come on, man.
I
Give
like
us
Jason's.
clusters.
I mean, to me, that's a great, just a panel right out of, if you did a Thin Blue Line web comic or something. I like that a lot. I like it because it's right after some action has taken place.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, Chris, we've been watching the past year and a half or so with Jason's art. He's really, really getting good. It's leveled up incredibly.
Okay, well, this is good. Yeah, it's nice. It's good. Put the work in, and it'll pay off.
That's right. That's right.
Him and Jiminy should be
Jim,
on.
Come
Does
on
Jiminy have a
Did I say that?
QFE on here yet?
Jiminy was on the show regularly, but he's drawing a bunch of comics right now, so he's kind of busy.
Oh, he's doing real work. Yeah,
he's working.
Not playing around.
But another person who's leveled up incredibly would be Adrian. Yeah. Adrian's improved really, really quite a bit. But thank you, Jason. Awesome stuff, dude. Keep it up, man. We got one here from Campy.
His Morbius last week was good. The Morbius he did last week was good. All the Morbiuses were pretty good last week too, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah, he did the tarot card one, didn't he?
I don't know if it was a tarot card. I think it was more of just
Adrian.
That's what I called it.
Yeah, that was Adrian. It looked like that. Yeah.
Blue Moons was fun. So,
oh yeah. Oh, that's of course. That's true. But does anyone know who Cammy P is?
Oh, but it's pretty cool.
I think it's very cool.
That's neat.
It's neat.
Good job,
Join the
Cammy.
show. Go on link. Let us know. We'll send you a
come
link
on
to
in here and
Discord.
draw with us. Have a chat, man. We'd love to have you. It's very cool. Now, is this digital? Or
yes.
what would you call this?
It is very digital. Definitely digital.
Yeah. But it looks really cool. I like it. It's got some good emotion going on. What do you think about this, Chris?
I like the composition. The guy down here at the front looks like he's in some serious action, but that looks a little romantic up there in the back. I'm not sure that's a defensive pose or not, because she looks kind of like she's smiling there a little bit. So I don't know. That might be more of a romance moment that's happening in the book, but I don't want to give away any spoilers. Yeah.
Oh, spoilers.
No, because she's got 2 guns out. She's doing that,
she's
you
going
know.
like
Yeah,
guns
but
out there.
she's still happy about it. And
She
has he
is.
got billy clubs or are those guns?
Those look like a tonfa to me.
Tonfa. Yeah, they do a tonfa, yeah.
That's
Could-
right. Yeah.
They
I
could
like
be
it.
They could be dancing.
Could be.
I was thinking this could be like a musical. Thin Blue Line, the musical.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. There's an idea. But thank you very much, Cammie. I love it. Keep it up. And keep in mind, guys, we love to see everybody's draw along. Eric, of course,
Now
is
listen,
cheating.
the reason I say that I got to say this about Cammie. Cammie does love books, mostly young adult fantasy.
Oh, okay.
So it's love books. That's why I'm seeing the love in that.
So you know who she is. Oh, well, thank you.
Well, no, I just read the Twitter bio. I'm assuming she's. being
Oh, well, you're doing my job for me.
Maybe
Chris. Damn it, you're making me
maybe
look
it's
bad.
not love books. Maybe she just loves books. I could be saying that wrong.
Fair enough. Let me see if there's anybody else real quick. Nope. All right. And of course, here's Spencer's again for the vote. Thank you all very, very much. We love the draw along, guys. It's awesome.
What about the?
I'm going to go over the
Sure.
Discord right now and take a look and see if there's anything. Nope. All I see in there is what I've already shown. So there we go. Let me check the general and see if someone dropped it in there. No. All right then. Let me go over here and I'm going to do the vote myself. Let me put it back over here so we can see the general panel again. All right. So here we go. Let me go vote and we'll do this right now. So who do I vote for? Amaran is strapped as usual. Captain Hawkins, of course, is in the house. We got Rosa is on the case. Very nice. Spencer the patrolman. Very nice. Two Banana Mike, Virginia Vice, which I think would have been a much better version, personally. You know, I think Miami's a bit overrated, you ask me. And of course, Rabbit Car 54, and it's a shame he doesn't know what that is. It's a great show. Go watch it. It's got Herman Munster in it, for goodness sake.
Yes.
That's right. Yep.
Oh, he was awesome.
He was. He's awesome, dude. But anyway, who am I going to vote for today? Let me see here. I got to go this one. I'm going this one. Okay, I voted.
You might want to vote for Armoron.
Unless it's Eric, you're going to change everything.
You might want to vote for
You voted
Armoron
Eric.
because you called him a moron. I mean, you
yeah,
got to make up for that.
Jeff, what's new? I mean, really, you know.
He's
But
don't change anything. I love this.
damn,
Silver
Eric
gold.
has won this. Jeez, Eric.
Yeah,
Looks like
yeah.
it. Unless you've got 5 votes in your pocket.
I mean,
Sweet.
we could if we had enough VPNs.
That's true. That is true. That is true. VPN. Well, you know, the thing about VPNs is, living over here, I've wanted those for literally nearly 2 decades, and finally they came into being, and now everyone's got one. Jesus, they are handy though.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I don't need them most of the time. But
The problem is once we got the VPNs, now all of these, companies and corporations, now they're all wanting to do their own streaming service, or they have it all locked behind paywalls and stuff like that. It's crazy, man. But
it'll change
crazy.
over. That's what technology does, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
It
it's fair.
changes everybody's things.
That's fair. Anyway, this is clearly done. So let me go ahead here and announce the winner.
Yeah, Eric
and,
wins. Eric wins.
But thank you very much to Rabbit, to Banana Mike, Spencer, Rosa, and Amaran. Thank you all very much for coming in.
Rigged.
We do appreciate it. Claps for everybody. Claps. Claps.
Nice. Well done,
Yes.
Eric.
Yes. yes.
Yay.
Thank you.
The
Thank
funny
you.
thing was,
And
it was
of course
literally
for
even voting.
well, for Eric Hawkins, thank you very much, sir. It is a great piece, though. Let's go
Thanks,
over here and
Christian.
take a look at it again.
It's the only one
He
on
gets the
model.
gold medal wrapped around his neck nice and tight, and he gets to go over and talk to his best buddy Mike Miller next week.
You do want to go over, right?
Yes,
have
I
to
want to
ask.
go see Mike.
Okay. I have to ask because I know.
Yes,
he
I
always
love
cancels his shows.
being on Mike's show.
He always cancels when I win.
Aw.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Dude, he cancelled
Uh-oh.
so many times when Eric was on.
That's
So
true.
many times.
Can you?
I'm so gonna get booted off of Mike's Discords and telling you that right now.
He
fair
wouldn't
enough.
kick you off
Can
the
you
Discord.
tell me, Rabbit? Do you know what Mike is doing next week?
No.
No.
I'll find out beforehand because I always
please
ask
do.
and I let everyone know. I let Spencer Teens know last
So
time.
if you'll find out about 10 minutes before you need to go on.
I mean,
But that's cool.
no. I found out 2 hours beforehand last
Ooh, a whole 2
What
hours.
happened?
But
Mike
he did
used to be way
Fortnite for
more
fuck's sake. Who
organized
does
than that.
Fortnite? It's such an old idea.
I think part of it is he's doing a ton of promotion with that with the NFTs,
Right.
and he's helping.
I
He's driving
really
a
didn't
lot of
mention
stuff.
It, though, last night. See, if we hadn't done this, I would have done Arcane because it's brand new, it just came out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You all know Arcane, I'm sure, or League of
I
Legends.
watched the first
I do
episode.
want to
So
watch
good.
it, but I'm glad we did this. I had a lot of fun. This was a fun show, man.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting here
I didn't
chatting
know
about
what to
stuff,
do.
and I didn't, I love Mike Maron stuff. I grew up reading Badger and Nexus and stuff like that. So
I
I
don't.
always appreciate looking at Mike's stuff because I like his work. But
My art
this was actually a
doesn't
good
work.
conversation today because I didn't know that the book was as politically charged as it is.
I know, yeah.
And
I thought it
that's
was
a cool
very
thing. I
interesting.
think we had a great conversation. I appreciate Rosa coming on for the first time. Did you have fun, Rosa?
I had a blast. It was so much fun. I'm not scared anymore now. I was really scared when I first came on.
Yeah,
Oh, you're in good hands.
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
I'll
you
take care
always
of you.
are.
Don't worry about it.
All you have to do is say "fuck you, Chester," and then
That's
you win.
right. And you're good.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that's pretty
That's
good.
what it comes
Screw
down
you,
to.
Chester.
Thank
Oh,
you.
no,
Jeff.
don't say "screw you, Chester." Swear
I don't-
more.
Yeah, that's mean.
I-
You're
I-
right, Rabbit. That's mean.
Yeah,
Don't be mean to me.
I'm so mean. I'm such a
Shit, I'm
jerk.
English. I can swear all I want. I don't give a shit.
That that is true. You are foul-mouthed, vulgar people. That is true. Yeah, that is true. But
Bollocks.
not like your
Oh,
Australian
bollocks,
brethren who are
bollocks,
nice
yeah.
church-going fellows. Yes,
We don't have those in England.
Not me.
not you. Well, we had Spencer on
No.
here earlier too. How far away you guys live from each other, Amron?
He's in
far apart.
Victoria. I'm in
Oh.
Queensland.
Oh, goodness
Yeah,
gracious!
he's in
So
the
next door,
Online.
huh?
Yeah,
super lockdown
yeah,
state
super
of
loud. Yeah,
Victoria.
sad for him.
Dude, are we still live?
I think we
You'll
are.
be scared when Booster's here. That's true,
I
but
think we are.
Booster's
Yes,
not here
we
right
are.
now. So.
Okay, we are. I was gonna say.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Something happened to him. We don't want to talk about New Zealand anyway. Nevertheless, guys, thank you very much for coming in here today with us. We always appreciate it. Great show, a lot of fun. We got to talk about a really cool book. Definitely go back that. I saw the link up in here. If Jiminy could drop it again, or Mortal V, I'd appreciate that. So we'll see you guys next week with something. But before we go, I do
Ghostbusters.
want
No,
to.
next week. No, next week we're doing Ghostbusters Afterlife.
We are doing Ghostbusters next week, Afterlife, for the opening of the movie. But before we go, I do want to give Chris, Mr. Chris Brawley here, an opportunity to give a closing statements in regards to not only the Indiegogo with Thin Blue Line, but also his great, amazing website, Bleeding Fool.
You're too kind, Chester. I appreciate it. I had a blast tonight. Go to thinbluelinecomics.com. That takes you straight to the Indiegogo page. Back it. You can get digital for $10. You can just share it. I mean, even if you just share the link with people, that would be great. The book's going to come out. Mike and Joseph and Jeff are very proud of it. And just keep chugging along, following along. And for Bleeding Fool, if you are an indie creator and you've got a campaign, hit me up at contact@bleedingfool.com. Send me a link to the campaign and say you want to get featured. And if you're also looking for, basically, if you have to say you're cool, you probably aren't, which is why we're Bleeding Fool.
There you go.
And
I like
there's a
that.
whole
That's
story as to why we did that. I don't know if anyone's interested or wants to hear about it later.
Oh,
I'll tell
I'm-
you some other time. But it's free speech, and we've got contributors from all political persuasions, all faiths, all genders. all 2 of them, and we just basically let people write and review whatever they want, and I just sort of editorialize when it's necessary. And we're not as prolific as maybe some of our friends at Bounding Into Comics or even Cosmic Book News, but we've got our niche, and we're just trying to keep the shills at bay, and kind of lamenting the sad state of how things are going, but also trying to elevate what we think is the future of geek media and art, which is independence.
Well, there you go. That was well said. Thank you very much. And I would say you guys are more concise than Bounding Into Comics. I wouldn't really bring the prolificness into it. But nevertheless,
I mean, they probably publish more stories per day than us. I think we only put out somewhere between 6 and 8 stories a day.
Yeah, but it's the stories that matter, right?
That's my point.
Well, some of them. That's great. I'll let you guys flatter us if you like.
No problem. No problem. We yeah.
I've read your stuff. I actually almost had a fangirl squeal when I heard you were on here.
Oh wow! Thanks.
You got a squeal,
I know.
dude.
I was like, can't help it. It's so awesome.
Now that's not fair.
Yes,
Chris gets squeals and I get fuck you, Chester. You guys suck.
You're Chester, so you always get fuck you, Chester.
But
I love
it's
I
your
love you.
thing.
And I would give you a sparkly heart.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, you say that until you find out you bought a fucking yacht.
Dude, why do you guys hate my boat? God.
I think she wants to ride on the yacht. I mean, come on, who wouldn't, right?
Yeah,
I think it's the principle of the thing there, Chester.
What is the principle, Jeff?
It's the you gotta hate a guy with a yacht principle. It's
I don't
very
wear
well known.
ascots, okay?
You should.
Do you not? I mean,
I don't.
You brag about a yacht to a bunch of starving artists. What do you expect?
That's fair. Well, it's not my fault. Anyway, thank you all very much. We will check you out next time. Keep in mind that we have our Night Owl show here on Sunday night. Come back and check that out. We're going to have ourselves a lot of fun as usual. We appreciate you. We love you guys, and later.
This is the part where we talk over ourselves during the...
Oh yeah. Oh wait. I need to go get my guitar.
What? Yeah.
Where's my guitar?